They're all wondering what am I doing. If you weren't tuned into the Simply Together show earlier, you'd know I'm just practicing for the Zumbathon coming up. Shimmy, 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 shimmy. All right, all right. Can't you guys take a joke? Yeah, the throat's all croaky. Shelley, producer, is so relieved. Not, but I still gonna sing. I gonna sing. La 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 la. So you're gonna see a lot more of Shelley today, and there's many reasons for that. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Real Talk with Simply Deez on Tuesday, the 7th of Feb. We are in 2023. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Feb already. You know how the year's going to go, did you, Shell?
Yeah, it's going to go mad, absolute bonkers.
And we've even, before we even hit Feb, have announced so many of our projects.
Just a few.
Yeah, and we haven't even told them. We haven't told them all, have we? Yeah, we haven't even told them all. So, for the millions, billions, trillions that are watching, we asked you kindly to share. We are live on Simply Deez Facebook page. We are live on Pamtengo Facebook page. We are also live on our Simply Deez YouTube page. You're not on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Shell, just tell them where we're at, girl. Tell them. Tika-taka. Tell them all. Tell them. Tell them. Tell them. Tell them.
Well, yeah, so we set up the YouTube. There's more and more videos keep popping up on there. So as well as our live ones, there's to be others that we've had through the years. TikTok, I did set up, and it will be getting used more often when I work out how to use it properly. Yeah, the Instagram, the Twitter, and yeah, anywhere else where you kind of end up. But all the links are on our Linktree page, so yeah, you can look for that. Which is
So,
Simply Deez events CIC. Yeah.
you very kindly. So for those people that are going like, oh, that's that girl, I see her all the time. Yeah, you do. And I wonder why. If you look at her
Yeah.
a little blurb, she's only put a little bit on because she couldn't fit it all in.
Yeah.
Because it's endless, right? It's
There's
absolutely
there's a
endless.
few. There's a few bits. There is a
Yeah,
few
it's
bits we end up
absolutely
doing.
endless. And I am so grateful because today I was thinking, do you know what? Since obviously we went into lockdown, which was 2020, we had to go onto Zoom.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I've just said we're in 2023. So you're talking near on 3 years.
Yes. It feels weird because everyone is kind of like, oh, it's only been that long. But then when you start really thinking about it and how many years it's been since all that first kicked off,
Yeah.
and what's happened during that time, it is just a strange time. You can't quite get your head around, sort of, because you haven't really kind of had particular milestones, I suppose, when things have been in lockdown and stuff. So you haven't had like your proper birthday parties, your get-togethers, the weddings, and all that kind of thing. You haven't had kids like going to school properly. You had all that kind of time where you were changing school years and things, and nothing had happened. It's kind of, yeah, it's such a strange time. Yeah.
And geez. So for those of you thinking like, am I pretending? I'm not pretending. The throat might hold out, might hold out, might hold out for the evening. Um, I want to acknowledge everything that you do, Shell, and it's truly appreciated because you've been doing things even when I know you're not 100%, and still doing things in the background and still kind of supporting and all the rest that go with that. So I know Cecile and certainly the other girls, and so many other people recognise and want to say a massive thank you. We need you to look after you also as well. That is key. Otherwise, we ain't going to be doing a fraction of what we're doing. We ain't going to be doing a fraction of what we're doing. And that applies to, do you know what I mean? That applies to all of us. So ensuring that. So you're thinking like, well, what's happened to Dee? And how come she's got a sore throat? Hello, Hubster. So that's partying. Being out, you know, one of those rare occasions one goes out and don't get back till late.
Rubbish, you're out every minute.
I mean, rubbish is out all the time. I was with him.
Yeah, but I'm him, yeah.
Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
I was out with the Hubster. Happy birthday, Minty. 60th birthday party on Saturday, and time I hit my bed, it was after 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah,
Out.
I know. And then you got to remember, I was going to Sandra's. I went to Sandra's gut health.
Yeah.
I went. The show's called RealTalk, guys. I was not going to come home after 4 and put the pot on a Sunday. So I got up, set my alarm 8 o'clock. What time? 8 o'clock. What time did you get in? 4 o'clock. Set the alarm. So I got up and cooked dinner. So when I come back, it was just there, just waiting. It was just waiting. So, yeah. So one is still in recovery.
See, it takes you longer to get over nights like this. You're not kids anymore.
You'd have thought we were. We were going like, we were out with my sister. Nobody's watching, Shell. I normally say millions. We'll say that when Bob comes on a little bit later. But until then, there's nobody watching us, nobody paying attention. So I was out. My sister was with us as well. So we're out. My sister's going, I'm going to work. I'm going to work. I need to get home. Now, you guys, for those that are listening, please comment. If you've taken somebody somewhere, they've asked for a lift, they've asked you for a lift. So when it's time to go home, it's when you're ready. You're ready. Not when like kind of, it's 11 o'clock. I need my bed. The party's just starting. Party's just starting. It was so funny. So funny. So she was going like, hubby was going like, oh, I feel a bit peckish. And I was like, So do you know what? We kind of nearly got home, and then we're like, let's go and get something. That's why we got home so late. We are kids. Ain't got kids to tell you nothing. You can do what you like.
So you're not used to being out, and then you get the munchies.
No, all of that's like, oh, this reminds me of 25 years ago. It was, honestly, it was rather like that. So we do have a few people viewing. Please let us know who you are, where you are, and why the hell you're watching. Because we've got no idea. I told you it's going to be one of them today, Shell. I told you it's going to be, I told you it's going to be one of them today. But I've got to keep it real, right? I've got to keep it real. So much is happening. We're going to talk about that as we go along. Here we go. Trisha. There's always, do you know what?
Trisha's a good girl, yeah.
I do wish that one wasn't on. Trish, you know I love you. But you know when you got the teacher, by the way, you don't know, teacher and assistant, she'll tell you, greetings, I'm a good girl. No partying, but a little bit of a sore throat myself. But I do remember raving on Sunday and then on train to London for work. Back in the day. I remember that. Back in the day. Look, you know we can talk, but the day's going to go on and I ain't going to have a voice. And I can see. Can you see waiting in the wings there? Shell?
Yeah. We've
got our guest. Now, this young man, bring him on and stay on for a bit, Shell, would you please? We can just see the tip of your head, young man. Yes, that's a little bit better, a little bit better. Oh, look at that haircut, cap off. Greetings.
Stop it. Stop it.
You look, you must have known if you're going to come on my show, bearing in mind, you guys are thinking, hang on a minute, that's Bob Baker. Yeah, you're correct. And you're thinking, I don't recall him ever being on one of these shows. Do you know what? You're right. You're thinking like, Let me tell you something now. Bob, tell them if I'm lying. How many times have I invited you on? How many times are you supposed to come on? And how many times have you blown me out? He's blown us out, Shell. He's blown us out.
It's one time. How can I blow a beautiful woman like you? And Shelley? Come on. You're having a laugh.
We're just telling it and we're just talking it. That's what happened. You ain't shown up. Do you know what I mean? You ain't shown up. But it's all good, as they say. It's all good. Greetings, Bob. Greetings. How are you?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm still at work.
You're still at work?
Yeah, I'm still at work. Yeah, I just thought I'd just stay on, because I've got loads to do. But I'm nearly finished. This is my pleasure bit now. This is my, you know what I mean?
Oh, did you hear that, Shell? You've met this young lady before, haven't you, Bob? Because Bob, before I go into anything with regards to a bit about Bob and etc., I just want to say on behalf of Simply Deez, how we had the hub, we've done so many different events, and how you've come and you supported in so many different ways. So just want to put it out there. We truly, truly, truly appreciate all your support. It's not 1, 2, 3 things you've been to or supported, many, many, many things, and supported me also as well. So just putting it out there, because I think Shell counted the stats, Bob, just before you came on, and they were, did you say, it was just, I don't know why she's laughing, but just short of 1 million, Bob.
She's what?
Yeah, exactly. We're just short of 1 million viewers. Remember all
really?
Facebook and YouTube? I know.
You kidding?
No.
Wow.
I know. Yeah, trust me, we're surprised as well.
See, if they each give £1, we could be millionaires.
We're working on it.
Oh, that'd be good, man. Stick what I can get £1 million. Oh my Lord.
We're working on it. We're working on it. So I just wanted to say a massive, do you know what I mean? A massive thank you. So there's a few people out there, Bob, or more than a few, and some of them know you, some of them don't. And even those that know you, you think you're going to go into a pitch, I'm doing this event. No. Shelley will tell you. How does it work, Shell? What am I going to do to him? Grill him, toast him?
Oh, you're going to get peeled back.
I'm off.
Exactly that. So welcome, Bob. Welcome to RealTalk. Thank you for taking the time. I know you said you're at work, but thank you for just taking the time out and jumping on this evening. So peeling it back, we're just having a conversation, as you know. Don't do no interview. Don't do any of that malarkey. So peeling it back, Bob. It's pretty cold at the moment, isn't it?
I'm warm where I am.
Oh, it's like
cold out there.
Outside.
It's cold outside, yeah.
It's kind of cold. So I need to ask, because I don't know myself, so I can peel it back, and I'm going to find out some things about you, Bob, that I don't potentially know. So UK born, yes or no?
No. Okay. No.
Oh, look at him carrying on all stush. No. So where were you born?
I was born in Jamaica, and I came here at a tender age. Well, I came here when I was 9 in 1966.
Lord of mercy, me one.
I was 9 going on 19. We could climb coconut tree. We could go a shop. We could do all of that.
Doing everything. Oh wow! Yeah. Did you come over on your own?
I came over with my cousin. I came over on a plane, BOAC. Still got my grip.
Still got your what?
I still got my grip. Don't tell me you don't know what a grip is.
Of course I do, and I know we're going to find out much more about that with the event and things that you're doing with regards to the Windrush. So so over here at 9, so that makes you then you're obviously you're here in primary school, right?
Yeah, I went to junior school here. I did a bit of it back home, but then I came over. And guess what? I noticed that you got one of the Campbell on the show, Grace, yeah?
Yes.
I went to school not Stockwood, sorry, at Charles Street with Nardine. She's the oldest of the lot.
Oh, really?
I went to junior school, Charles Street, with Nardine. She's my good friend. The
See, I don't
Campbells,
know any of this shit.
1966.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Okay. So how did you find, I'm just trying to picture myself at 9. At 9, I don't know. I just about know my name and maybe just a little bit more. But to kind of leave somewhere that's all you've ever known, not just the warmth, the culture, just everything, to then sort of like be put on a plane and come over here. Were you excited? Were you scared? Were you, I don't know, how were you feeling?
Well, I was excited because I hear so much back home about England. England, the things that England done, in terms of like the good steel and then furniture and all the waves and and we used to get stuff sent over from my mum to England.
Oh, okay.
England over here. So it's the land was really, and that's famous. Shakespeare and all that kind of stuff,
So who was bringing you up when you were back in Jamaica then?
Oh, my grandparents, my grandmother and father, plus my uncles and aunties. I was the first grandchild born in the house on my mother's side. So I was quite, I had to grow up quick, So yeah, it's good.
That is quite common of your era, because you are just a little older than me, just a little bit. But
really?
I mean, in terms of being in the West Indies and maybe sort of like being brought up by, it's a shame actually V isn't on Shell, isn't it? Brought up by whether it be grandparents or other family relatives, and then sort of like, I suppose, was it like you was like sent for, and then you could come over, yeah?
That's right. I come over to join mum, because obviously I'm getting big now, 9, so she had to make her mind up. So, you know what I mean? I had to come over and join mother.
If you don't mind me asking, how long a gap was that from when you'd seen her, when she was there, and then from you sort of like coming over?
I can't really remember my mum much, to tell you the truth.
Beforehand?
I think I must have been about 3 or something like that. Yeah. Because she and her older sisters and my uncles, they came to England because England was where it's at, say things like that, better yourself and such forth, Mm-hmm. They were very trendy and fashionable, so they come to England, isn't it? So I don't think they were meant to stay that long, actually.
Yeah, stay, make some money, go back, and all that goes with that.
But as I say, really, right, my things I learned back home stand me in good stead. Like you learn lots of little morals and Renan's historian. I could, as I say, I could climb. I could do anything. I could run. I could climb trees. I could recitate. You're very, very quick back home. And good thing about back home, really, right, the schooling system. Mm-hmm. Don't go by your age. It goes by your ability. So if you learn more, you move up from one class to a higher class. Nothing to do with age.
So it's got for some it's got pluses and minuses. So that's a case of like, if you're, say for instance, like now, if you had, I don't know, if you were like autistic or something like that, you potentially you'd never be moving up. Yeah,
that is true. That is true. But at the same time, right, there'll be other skills that people pick up on, or the talent.
Well, this is it.
Some extra talent, So there's different ways.
Most definitely. That's what I'm saying. So you're talented, but just because you may not be academically, that's what I'm saying. If you're not academic, then that can sort of like, in terms of what you're saying now, potentially you'd be like held back a year.
In the sense of the formal bit.
Yes.
In the formal bit, but the thing about it, right? You got your craft, you got your skills. You can do certain things, It's not really, I don't know, it's hard to say. You don't just judge strictly
so different,
academic. Your common sense and other things,
Yes.
Because we're very handmaking and craft people and stuff like that. Very art, because like my mom, she was a dressmaker. My grandmother, she was a dressmaker. And one of my uncles was a carpenter. The grandfather owned loads of land. You know, that's how they had, you know, sugar cane and all sorts of. And we actually live off the season, the crops, pimenta, chocolate, coffee, yam. But all those get transported to Kingston, like say, you know, I mean, in places like that, and they, you know, so we had a kind of English kind of countryside kind of life, if you know what I mean. We had pigs and whatever. Every day, you know, it's exciting. Cock crow in the morning, you're up early, you have to go and fetch the milk, proper milk, you know.
And this is all before school, right?
Hey?
This is all before you went to school.
You saw before you went to school. You're up at 5 o'clock. You know, you do your thing. You don't think about it. The school is about at least half a mile down the road. You know, and sometimes when the river falls, you can't get over the river. You have to wait, you know, to when I'll go around, things like that, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you know, at night time, sometimes you're young, you used to get told stories. You know, so ghost stories like, you know, what Duppy. You know, have you heard about Duppy's story?
We haven't got subtitles on here today, Bob. Unfortunately, now we have, our viewers are going up now. Okay, the viewing figures are going up. So when you say Duppy, people are going like, who? What? Was that the name of somebody? You need to explain to them when you say Duppy, what are you referring to?
Duppy is equivalent to the English term of calling it like a ghost. Yeah. In fact, Bob Marley had one of his music, Duppy Conqueror. It's like a ghost, right? You know, so you get told loads of different stories, like Brenancy's story. Brenancy was a clever sort of spider, West African.
Yes.
And he'll always find a way around of getting the best out of someone, you know, and things like that. So those stories put you in good, you know, stem in life.
Oh.
But when he got told, you know, like you heard about thing about the, you know, like the headless man or headless horse. They only frighten you, and you don't want to go outside after dark. But if you don't wash your foot, because you have to bathe before you go to bed. So if you don't do your things that you're supposed to do at night time,
that's it.
Away.
Yeah.
When you wash your foot, then look, go wash your foot. You have to go from about a quarter mile down to the river to go wash. It's dark. It's pitch black. You have to have back in them days. You have to have like a bottle lamp. You know what a bottle lamp is? Am I making sense?
Yeah.
It's like a torch.
For me, but you got to remember with I think Shelley's smiling because I think we're just hitting the million marker, Bob. So
yeah, like a torch, and so you have to go, you know, and whatever. And you know, as I say, really, about you know your place back home. You know, when I say you know the place, children. I know it sounds a bit bad. Children should be heard. Children should be seen but not heard. That was the era. You know, you got very disciplined.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so bearing in mind, obviously, that's how you're brought up. Well, you know, things are sort of like, I don't know, kind of turn totally upside down, certainly in the UK here. So do you still believe that?
What's that?
Children should be seen?
I believe, right, of course children should be seen, you know? And at the same time, really, right, they should be heard. But at the same time, really, right, they must know manners and respect.
Of course.
If they can't hear, what are they going to do?
Y'all feel.
They will feel, you know? Whether physically or mentally, it's a good thing. You have to have a stitching time. Stitching time save 9. You never did me no harm. But at the same time, really, I don't believe in, what's the word? Abuse.
Yes.
Yeah, because, and I'll tell you, let's explore a little bit about that. I think life was so hard for some of the parents over here when they come.
Yeah.
You know, even back home, it's a hard life. So you have to learn sense quick. Don't give no trouble. Do what you're supposed to do and whatever, then you can play and have fun.
Yeah.
You can't skylark. You know what skylark mean? Like dream.
I do, Bob, but I told you need to translate.
Yeah, dream. You know?
Oh, this is so wicked. Those people coming on thinking like, oh, Bob's going to talk about his event, and they're like going like, oh my gosh, didn't know that, and just
Yeah.
certain phrases that you're dropping and just taking people back in time. So it's brilliant. This is what I wanted.
And then you see, like, say for example, say I went somewhere with my grandma, some place or whatever, say the house of someone with a friend, and they say, "Oh, you want an apple?" You look up to your grandma, and if you don't get the nod, "Nah, I'm all right."
You ain't having it.
Yeah. So it teaches you when you go, "Good boy, you get whatever you want." So you mustn't let greediness out,
Yeah.
Something like that. So it's not anybody you should eat from.
Yes.
Because we're particular. And when say that there's not a lot of food, say that there's whatever little bit that you have, you feel full up, you're happy with that.
Yeah.
You don't. So there is little bits, and that you learn some little bits and bobs that keeps you. And obviously we have the folk song, Hilangoli Raido, and all the kind of things that goes with it. And,
See, you don't want me singing to yourself. She's like,
well, she's laughing.
They don't appreciate my singing on this show, Bob. They don't appreciate my singing.
Well,
She's a trier. She's a trier.
Yeah, okay. I think anything she puts her mind to, she'll get there. You know what? It starts with your attitude, your personality.
You tell them, Bob. You tell them.
Public personality. You know what I mean? I know some people who's not. Let's think about one of the sports person like Eddie the Eagle. Remember Eddie the Eagle?
Yes.
He was a trier and he got famous.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
are you comparing me to Eddie the Eagle? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Good job you're at work, Bob. Good job you're at work.
You're simply the best.
Oh, he's dropping it. He's done
again?
a little rehearsal. He's trying to keep me sweet tonight. He's trying to keep me show. He's trying to keep me sweet tonight.
No, seriously, dear, right? You're a very bubbly character. You're very enthused. I remember from you when you was young, man. Back in the day, and you just blossom and blossom. You're very, And them glasses look very quainty. Both look glasses. What's happening? You guys are bookworm.
Yes, definitely. These are my glasses, Bob. These are my glasses. So
they're really lovely.
Thank you for all those compliments. Now, Bob, you are in the UK now. What were you like at school? I cannot imagine that you were no offense, please don't take anything the wrong way. This is real talk. Were you the ideal student, or did you give the teachers problem?
No, I never really gave the teachers problem.
Really?
As such. No, but what it is really right, things that they already knew from a long time, I already learned.
That's what I tried to teach you. They
tried to teach me, and I think because I speak with a bit of a twang, so to speak, they assume really right that you're not very, clever.
Right.
Yeah. And I got bored easy. And sometimes people used to, might not say people, one or two little adverse comments, and I get to find out that those phrases, those things that they say wasn't very nice, in some ways. But it water off a duck's back, most of it. I enjoyed school, but I never enjoyed the environment around certain, because we couldn't go somewhere because people want to fight you because of your skin color, certain areas, right? But then saying that really, right, there were some beautiful English rose women, as well as some good men as well, So when you're young, I never knew nothing about no race business. Just that was a clash. I'm not going to go into the race thing too tough, but at the end of the day, what I'm saying really right, that it's like through your spirit, through your talent, whether you're running, your sports, all this thing like that, music. And then I think when music started coming in, like, Bob Marley and all different sort of thing, the world is black, the world is white and all that, So, but when I was young, young really, right, I enjoy my youth. But it wasn't easy with my parents. It wasn't easy, because I'm coming from my mom got divorced. I'm coming from a single parent, so the label go. But at the end of the day, right, I changed my brother's nappy. and all of the different things like that. I did loads of, it's a stereotype when they talk about men, really. When I say it's a stereotype, because there's some men really right that, they can plait here, over there, they can do this, they can do that. And it's not a big thing. It's not a big thing. Really, yeah. And I had a loving auntie. One of my aunties, she's so beautiful. She used to give me the biggest kind of squeeze and hug. She treated me like a king, that kind of way, And at the same time, really like, love, man. It's all about the love bit, You dress good. I remember one of the time, when I started going out, I think I must have been about 14, 15, something like that.
Going out at 14, 15?
Yeah, it's good night. There's stuff like, like the equivalents, probably over here, right? The kiddies disco.
I weren't going to no kiddies, nothing.
Yeah, but you ladies have to be. You ladies
what? This is just it. Why was there the difference? As in, like, my brothers could go out. Yeah, it's all good. Me and my sister, we were on lockdown before lockdown even was a word.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes we worried what could happen to you guys out there, ladies. Like, we have to. But I'm not saying that patronizing, but you have to stay and
wash,
swim and do the chicken. Go to the Indian man shop and get the chicken the night time and swim the chicken.
And this just it. My mum. If my mum was here and listening, she wouldn't dispute any of what I'm saying. We, as in, like, and how I was brought up, it was a case of, like, the girls did all the work, the ironing, not just our ironing. We ironed, like, my brother's things as well, and all of that sort of stuff. It wasn't fair, Bob.
But you know what? That's your household. Not all households are the same. I had to look after my younger brother and sister, really, because my mom wasn't well, really. I had to do the cooking at times, right? All those kind of things, right? I even had to, I remember, like, even my baby sister, when she had cold, I had to blow it out of her nose, and things like that. When you actually sort of feed them, put them over and burp them, put the towel over, to make sure all the baby stuff, stretch them leg and whatever, and things like that, And then them times when I came over initially, right, before paraffin heater, then the whole coal fire. You have to go around the back and go and get the coal. Shelley, I don't know if you remember these things.
Sorry.
You have to go around the back, and the back, they used to have the toilet at the back, Burlington toilet. If it was out of order, then, that's where the coal man go around the back to the, and then you make up the fire warm up everywhere. Then later on, paraffin heater come in. Yeah.
Oh, we're getting the comments coming through now. We're getting the comments coming through because that discussion. Trish was saying which is what I said. My house was the same. My brother was allowed out. Us girls weren't. I wanted to go camping. Mum said camping wasn't for girls.
They said camp yourself in your bedroom. Listen, I remember on Saturday, and so when it comes around 4 o'clock time, that's a soup time, every traditional we have.
Yes, and wrestling.
And wrestling with Mick McManus and Les Kelly and Johnny Kwango. And all that.
Giant haystacks.
Name
the wrestlers, guys. Name the wrestlers.
On Sunday, you have to go to church on Sunday. You have to put on your best and go to church on Sunday. And if you're good, you get a little money to get ice cream and go to the park. Take your sister with you.
You're making me keep it real. I said to Shelley before we came on air, did I not say it was going to be Real Talk Today's show? I said that. I didn't even know we were going to go where we're going, Bob. But I'm telling you now, my dad did not go to church.
Sorry?
He didn't go to church.
But your mom did?
Yeah, my mum did, but my dad didn't. So it was a case of, like, do you know what? Very much Sundays, don't matter what's going on, don't matter how you look like you're literally dead, don't matter.
You have to go to church.
Sunday was church. And no word of a lie, it was like I went because I had to go. We had to go. It wasn't like, do you want to? Do you not?
No.
There wasn't an option. Church on a Sunday. And I tell you now, and if my mum, as I said, will tell you, I said, I literally turned 18. Do you hear me, Michelle? 18. And do you know what? I'm like, I don't want to go anymore. But you got to remember, I'm an adult now, even though I don't want to go because I'm scared what you're going to say. But I don't want to go anymore. And that's when I stopped going. I was 18. 18.
But I personally, really, I think it's.
But that's just me. I'm talking about me, Dee Bailey, not as in like that's what I did and that's what I felt. So that doesn't mean anybody that is a Christian or anything like that I'm sort of saying. I'm just talking about me.
No, but I think basically, right, it's good to know about the creation. And then when it come later on, you can decide. But at least you got an idea. Because I feel really right. If I
didn't have to wait till I was 18, Bob. I got the gist of it before then.
Yeah.
I did get the gist before I got to 18.
See, you're good then. I can see that. You're blessed. You're a happy bunny. You know. You know.
But
look at that beautiful cheeks. I love your cheeks, but be careful. When you lie to me, you know, trust me. Say, hey, Bob, mind yourself.
Shell's going like, if
queen,
I tell you, Shell, she would believe me.
You know what I mean?
Oh, Bob, stop.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what? V's on one. She started listing the wrestlers. Jackie Pallow. That's it, V. Kendo Nagasaki.
Pallow. You're good. Yeah. And never mind going to the other show like the Bonanza.
Oh, yes.
You know, Bonanza. Yeah.
What else did we watch?
All them kind of shows.
Cannon. You know all the detective shows. Cannon, Kojak, The High Chaparral.
My mum used to like watching the Betty Davis one. Those are older, the Betty Davis show.
Yeah.
You know? But our kind of thing, like say, you know, like Thunderbirds and, you know, things like that, you know. And
the Virginian, yes, V. And Bonanza. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Little House on the Prairie.
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, John Boy.
The Waltons. That's the Waltons, yeah.
Yeah, the Waltons.
Yeah, back in the day.
You know?
And back in the day, tell out there, please tell them if I'm lying. So, because of how we grew up, and you had a few families in one house because you couldn't afford to live on your own.
No, yeah, that's right. That's how it was, yeah.
You know, and Friday, my sister will kill me if I'm telling you this, but Fridays was a bath night.
It was what?
Bath.
Bath?
B-A-T-H, bath.
Bath, okay.
And so that water got recycled.
Yes.
The kids these days have got no idea. Recycled as in you're stepping into dirty water to have your bath. Because you were, do you know what I mean? There's a few others before me.
Because you had to boil up the water and put it in the bath, innit? It wasn't like
this is how things were.
You had to boil up the water and put in the bath.
All of them things. People
I remember them tub as well. You remember the tub? And the peel as well. You know? Yeah.
Oh, such luxuries we have now, and they do not appreciate it.
I can still smell coal tar soap.
Oh, right. Which one, Shelley? The carbolic one?
Yes.
The red one, the carbolic one, yeah? There's that one. Never mind the posh, you just have the pears as well. And then you have Lux. Lux. Can you remember the Lux one?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Palm olive.
That's it. You know?
Oh, my gosh.
Plus my hair. We have like bull cream.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. And then when you get into a little bit of manhood, you know what I mean? You talk about 15s, you know, taekwondo, you know, you have the way you call it, brute.
Yeah, brute.
Yeah.
Love some Pond's cream. That's it, V.
Pond's cream is very posh.
Oh,
Yes,
what?
yeah.
Pond's cream was kicking it though. Pond's cream.
Pond's cream was
Yeah.
very, very posh. You know?
Oh, this is like going down
I mean,
memory lane.
I mean, lucky because sometimes it used to have the drinks man come with the Alpine drinks.
Oh, Alpine
And
and
the
Corona,
Corona.
yes.
Yeah. And
And you sort of like had to think back, give back the bottles, and then.
Yes, yeah, that's it. You know.
What was your favourite flavour, Bob?
I think the strawberry one. You know, the pineapple was good still.
Yeah. Do you know what the worst one was? Shelley will probably like it. Dandelion and burdock.
No, she says no. Go on then, Shelley.
I don't like dandelion and burdock. No.
The cream soda was kicking it, V.
The what?
Cream soda.
Oh, cream soda was bad.
That was nice.
Cream soda was bad.
Oh, do you know what? When you think back and certain things you're thinking like, oh, but we've got so much more now. But at the same time, the olden times we appreciated just those, what now the kids and the younger people now would think are nothing, but we so appreciated those things back then.
So, you know, like when I started from school, right, I left school at 15 because 15 was the age you left school before they raised up to 16. Yeah. So there's youth clubs, and at the youth clubs, right, obviously you play football and boxing, but the most important thing, the table tennis and all that thing, but they also have disco there, you know, and you know that's where the boys and the girls, you know, they start dancing and socializing and all that kind of stuff, you know, and it's you know, people from all over. When I say people from different schools in an area, they come together. And you know, your little friendship, it goes on to when they start going out at nightclub in the town and stuff like that. And they play for a football team because you know Derby I went to Derby from Luton, ended up at Derby. NC got this bit of a mongrel accent, you know, got Midland accent. Then I came back. I came back in '81. But what it is really, right? The childhood is so important in a person's life. The childhood bit, you know. Then they come to see the world and, you know, and experience and things like that. And, you know, those are the golden age, really. Really, you know, and, you know, sometimes people tell you something like, oh, you mustn't do that, can't you hear? And then in the summertime, when you have holidays, sometimes something happens and the penny drop in the summer. When you go somewhere, whatever it is. We used to actually sort of, we never had the luxury of buying a bike because my mom couldn't afford it because she got, you know, divorced and stuff like that, single. So I had to go to the scrapyard and get, you know, like say the skeleton of a bike, the frame, you know, polish it up, you know, the emery cloth and whatever, and paint it, get the wheels, you know, just as good as whatever. You know?
Yeah.
And I used to use that and go to the farm. In the summer, I used to ride, me and my friends, a couple of my friends, ride about 7 miles into near Chaddison, into the country part, and we go on the farm, haystacking, and we got a little bit of money. And we could buy little bits and bobs. We were very resourceful. When it comes down to like Derby County football match, we used to go to the game. But before that, we used to buy tickets. The ticket used to be 1 shilling and something, and we could sell it for a lot more money on the day because it's not that. You know, so you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to be resourceful because we never had nothing given to us as such. You know, you had to know how to get about. You had to use a bit of craft, you know, and stuff like that.
Oh, fabs.
And I suppose it's the same for the women. The woman, if they could plait here or they could do shopping or a little bit of, you know, they have to have some kind of craft, a bit of life skills, you know, and things like that. Cooking and, you know what I mean, make things stretch. You know?
Had to. What Trish is saying there, Friday evening was wash the school uniform in the bath. And it's true. You're thinking like, when I got older, I'm like, I don't understand why we have a washing machine. Why are we having to wash it first and then put it in the washing machine? But that's what we had to do. Your shirts, you used to have to do the collar and the cuffs. To do all of that. And then ours, it was as in like, you know, the double machine, Shell. you'd wash. Mum loved it. She's only given it up a few years back, you know. We made her preferred that than the normal front loader. You take them out and then you have to put them in the... Like, Mum, why do you want to do that? Because that's what she knew and that's what she felt comfortable with. And she would still have it now if it wasn't for us.
Well, if it works, why change it? That's what they think. But I tell you a story about, you know, like, say, even when I was doing an apprenticeship, you know, when I lived in a house with 2 other males, and I was one of the youngest one, you know, because I think I was about 17 then, you know. Anyway, the short of it, I could prepare a shirt to go out. What my shirt was, I could prepare a shirt to go out in 20 minutes. Easy. You know what I do? You wash the shirt, you obviously wash it and everything like that. What you do, you get a towel and you wrap the shirt in a towel in between and you wring it. Yeah? And then you really wring it, and then you obviously, and then really, you know, it's kind of nearly dry, and you iron it.
Shell, is that not a hack we need to be sharing?
You know, hang up the shirt, look crisp.
Oh,
you know.
Look at that, Bob Baker, these little hacks, these little tips. We're going to be sharing them, Bob. I tell you what, you're going to be getting some. Yeah, that's another little string to your bow, love. All the little hacks you've got there. So Bob
Baker's old school tips.
Yeah.
more like PG tips, but anyway.
And even V's put on there, which is so true. Do you remember the Green Shields stamps? And used to, do you know what I mean? The stamps, and you used to be able to do that because you remember, is it where the what's the cinema place now? It's kind of like round there where the co-op used to be. You used to have to go in there and give in the books, and then you'd get sort of like you could do
your stamps,
yeah.
This have another one as well. Let's have a red one as well. Red one as well as the green one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So Bob, school-wise, you finished school. So did you leave school with qualifications?
Not really. I tell you what happened. Basically, right. When I went to the school in Derby, it was one of the at 13, I left Luton. I was going to one of the new school. It was Stockwood High School, brand new built then. I lived on Old Bedford Road. Nardine, she lived on Clarendon Road, which is about 3 minutes round the corner. We went to the same junior school. I missed back home so much. You know, I wanted to go back. Then I find out when I was writing the letters, they was reading my letters. When I say they, you know, my grand and whatever, and they used to converse. And I get to find that out. And I wasn't going to go back. I know I can't go back. So, you know, the short of it, where this is going, right? When the marriage mash up, you know, and then I you know, the school was a nice school, you know, Stockwood High School was brand new. I think John Ashton was one of the school at that time, you know. But anyway, when I went to the school in Derby, that was a rough school. It was a boys' school. You know, there's a girls' school up, you know, a bit down the road. It's like the gates, it's like something out of Charles Dickens. And some of the teachers, then one or two of them, they ought not to be teaching, really. But anyway, so, you know, anyway, the short of it, I remember the careers person, right? What you want to be, and I thought I want to be a mechanic, you know, and stuff like that. I was quite bright in my own way, but at the same time, the school wasn't. So I had to go evening classes before, so I could go into the Derby College of Further Education to do engineering, because I had to make sure I'm up to scratch. You know, that's what I did. That's me and another, you know, because we don't want to just go and get any labor or whatever job. We want something good, because you've always got to have something good. That's how you know. So I never came up, you know, academic, but in terms of like social skill and streetwise and all those kind of things, you know, no problem. You know, I know my way around. I know how to deal with certain things. I'm not being, what you call it, because I hold my barn. I'm back home. You don't really fear anybody, because you know, at the end of the day, really, I couldn't bring no trouble come to my yard. It's got to be out there. Yeah. And I can you just say that again, Bob? Because you know, we say it all the time, and the young people then need to know.
What did you say about bringing something to the parents' door?
No. I couldn't bring nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing. No trouble could come down my street. You with me? No policeman could, whatever. You know what I mean? That kind of way.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
You know, things like that. You know, so I'm trying to say really, like, yeah, whatever you have to deal with, you have to deal with. No, I'm not saying, you know, I was a good person. I was not bad, but we mix with everybody. Yeah. Because I think it's silly to say that, oh, you mustn't go around with that one because that's a bad company. You choose whatever. They know the limit and you
But
test
that
yourself.
is that's what I was told though.
You test yourself.
You are known by the company that you keep.
There is a bit of that. There is a bit of that. Say, for example, right, one of my best friends, he's still my best friend in Derby, and he went to rival school. And when Dale Boys School used to fight with Petrie, me and a few of us, we don't fight. We don't belong to them nonsense. You know? Let them get on with it. They don't come to us because they know we're serious. You know, it's not that. But put that aside, there's only certain people could go to certain people's house. Yeah? You said, me don't like the look at this one, you know. Where, you know? Look shit. But I had impeccable manners from back home.
You mean then, not now, then.
Listen, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Not another thing, you know. You know. It's not what you do, it's how you do. I'm not saying that's been bad, but you know, you got to know how to do things. Yeah, you know, something like that. So, you know, the question
I don't. So Bob, I think many people out there have got no idea you're talking about being a mechanic, an engineer, and we're going like, what?
Yeah,
we don't know Bob to doing any of that. We just know you as in a youth worker and as in that side of things. So when did you get into that, and how did you get into that?
Basically, right, I think it was 81. I came back from America.
That's when I finished school.
81.
Just saying.
Yeah. I came back from America. I was in, you know, because obviously one of my uncles, because you know, at that time there was unemployment big time. They had the uprising. 81 was when Maggie Thatcher and all that unemployment and all that, whatever like that. So that's when I came back to Luton. But I used to visit Luton now and then because I got family. My sister and, you know, younger brother, they still live in Luton, you know, anything like that. So when I came back, 81, basically, right, there was no engineering anymore in the Midlands. All the engineering bases got mashed down, you know, Lelands and whatever. So it's on your bike, so to speak. So the two area that was computers or sort of social work, those were the new kind of field, thing like that. So how I got into this youth work thing, well, at the same time, I used to put on dances as well in Derby. You know, I used to put on, you know, I remember Investigators, you know, one of the top group back at the time, me and my friend, we fancied ourselves as top promoters. We used to put them on, you know. We used to do things. We used to have a dance group. We used to go to the pubs. We were very popular. We had a little run-ins and thing, you know. So anyway, when I came to Luton, right, you know, obviously I had to suss out the scene, innit, a little bit, because some of these guys and people don't really know me. But I never come to one bench out to mess around. I went to Breakers and all those places, Marsh Farm, Gemini, this, that, and whatever, right? I could play pool and whatever, you know. So I was put on a little dance, you know, to get a little bit of extra money for myself. But I was doing some O-levels flexi study, trying to get myself up. So it was that Charlie Brown on Midland Road, you know. My man, the Irishman, you know, he's got it right, you know. In fact, so anyway, he told me, so I put all my flyers out and, you know, go around socializing everybody and this and that, you know, I mean, tell him, so the dance was going to go on. So, like, when it comes down to, like, the dance supposed to be on a Saturday, and the man is telling me on Monday that it can't go on because some Batman thing on some rubbish. So I said, look, what people are coming now, you know, so, you know, you can't be telling me this. And they put on my little money. So anyway, somebody said, go down to Starlight U Club. You know, they have function down there. So I said, let me go down to Starlight U Club. So I'm going down there. and I saw Steve Stevenson, Silban. So Steve said, oh, no, you know, we don't have no promoters. He put on the thing for the benefit of the club, so we don't have outsiders organizing thing. So it says, all right then. Then, you know, in terms of that, you know, I look, I forgot how it described me. He said that I look useful. He's never seen me before. You know, and then tell me about what they do here with the young people and then trying to get people to come and help and do this and that. So I said to him, yeah, man, that sounds good. Yeah, probably later another time we come back. So he said to me, oh, a lot of people say they're going to come back, you know, they don't come back. I said, what do you think you're talking about? I said, you know, you can't be talking to people like that. You don't know me. I'm sorting out my business. If I say I'm going to come back, I said, no wonder people don't come back. So I was a bit more abrasive, you know, in them time, but not in a bad way. So anyway, right, I started up and I came back. And then tell me about all with the young people, because at that time, really, right, you know, they're different, that Bangladeshi, that, you know, they was looking after them really, because the leader, you know, he went away, then just have their own young people. And there's a lot of issues at that time, really, big time issues. You know, so anyway, I was with them young people, help them do this and play table tennis, play pool, ask them how they feel, what's happening at school, what's happening in their life, and blah, blah, blah. Do a little program that you can, you know, that can join in the discussion and stuff like that. And then Steve said, oh, you're natural, man, you're good. Then a year later, I did it for a year while I was doing other stuff, you know. Then he got the area youth officer to know about me, you know. And I was at Charles Street then, Charles Street Adult Education, you know. So I was doing, plus my flexi study. They said, oh, you can't be doing that because I'm very ambitious, you know. So in the end, really, right, I went on the part-time course, part-time youth workers course. And at that time, there's only 3 people prominent at that time. There's Harry Sterling. Then people remember Harry Sterling. There's Neville Palmer. He's another one. He went on. And there was this John Bedder, you know, youth house. So when I got my qualifications in part-time, in between that, you know, I was studying as well. You know, I went on to me and Lawrence Palmer and Philip Rose, and we were the first 3 from Luton to go into the higher education. We did H&D, Public Administration and Business Study. And after Steve Stevenson left, I was the one that got appointed to run the club. Even though there's other people before me, I don't think they wanted to get on and do things. So I run the club. So I was studying. I was going full-time course and 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and Saturday afternoon, you know, I had to juggle all that kind of thing, but I never thought much of it. And then after I finished that, you know, they said, oh, you got the H&D, but that's not a qualification for youth work. You got to do the youth work course to be JNC recognized, like, you know. So I went up north and did it, you know. But what in between that, I was an activist. You know, when I say an activist, what's that? I can't hear you. Sorry, D, you can't. Can you hear me?
You're on mute, D.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what happened. I can hear you now.
Sorry, I wasn't, no offense, I wasn't actually talking to yourselves.
Oh.
I had the next guest should be kind of, and he's just literally phoned me, so I just had to take the call literally whilst I was on. So
Yeah.
Apologies.
No. Yeah, so I fall into youth work and I love it. I love it, you know, and I love the community because it reminds me of back home, you know, and I love young people and children and whatever, you know, so it's, I don't know, you could get paid.
How many years, Bob? How many years would you say? Because I know you still do things even now. But how many years would you say you've dedicated to youth work?
Well, it's youth and community. I've been doing it, say, from a part-time qualification from 82. Yeah, but even though I've left the youth service 2005, I got headhunted by Youth Offending Service in Bedford. So I run the early intervention and prevention, looking at those difficult young people, stopping them from going to the criminal justice system. You know, in certain part of Bedford, the so-called areas that's really kind of deprived. And also in Houghton Regis, because some of the young people, for the teachers, they're quite trying. But to me, I'm not saying they wasn't trying, because some of them got all different levels, like autism and ADHD and ODD and all them kind of stuff, yeah? But you just have to work through them and work with the parents and, you know, a wrap around, stuff like that, you know? So I've been in youth work, well, you work it out. But I'm not doing the youth work as such, I do community work. I've never been a youth worker. I've always been a youth and community worker. Yeah. Never been a youth worker, a youth and community worker. That means at the same time, youth got our own place where they should develop and whatever, but they're part of the community. It's not like a little, that's it. No. And, you know, the people like, you know, some of the young people that come, the big man and woman now, like the Debbie Liverpool, the Colin Spaulding, the whatever, Arlene and all them lot, they were on my members committee. So I revolutionized youth work in a way. They had a say. It was like, oh, CMB, whatever. And at the same time, they helped me run the club, you know? I remember one at the time, right, the youth service wasn't very nice to us. Anyway, the short of it really, right, the building was in a bad state, but we had very talented. No young people was really turned away from Starlight. No young people was turned away from Starlight because they travel or whatever like that. You know, they all get on, not just, you know, but you've been there, innit? So you know what's it like, you know, we all get on, you know, and things like that. You know, so the short of it really, right, body popping, that came out of Starlight. The Colin Critchlow, the Pat Felix, you know, the Imperials, which are famous for body popping. And they were, you know, and plus we have the Barlet, you know, the so-called, you know, the two extreme, you know, and plus we have the dance as well, the big dances then. And Carnival came out of Starlight. Big time. People all over came to Starlight, you know. In fact, people don't know this. If it wasn't for Colin Spaulding, we wouldn't have a Carnival Arts Centre, because it's his skills that develop and move things on, right? There's so much things. There's so much, the leadership of Luton in terms of the youth thing, the heart of it is Starlight. I know I served at Youth House as well, at the Limbury Boys Club and other places like that. But that's iconic. Even like Carnival Arts Centre, that was a youth house, and it's gone now. Yeah. When Prince Charles came, I was there, and I was so, because I got, you know, like I say, I was a residential training officer for Bedfordshire Princess Trust. Over 10 years, I take young people in the minibus, unemployed, brush up the skills and such forth, like that, turn them around and whatever. Not all of them in the kind of way you call it. And I was so the other day when Prince Charles come, well, sorry, King Charles, you know.
When you said Prince Charles, I thought, oh, you mean a long time back. But if you say King Charles, you mean yesterday.
Yeah, Prince Charles, one at the time, way back, he recognized me because he see me so often.
Well,
no, truly, you know. And he loved our people. He loved our multiracial, because we're very multiracial, you know. When Prince Charles came, you know, the other day, some of the officers, I let him go look in. Me and Lawrence, you know, the thing said, what's going on? You know, I said, well, one, there's no image and representation. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
But me see a little clip down at the train station, people that play some steel pan. That's it. But I'm not saying there's wrong with the steel pan, but it's a bit, you know what I mean? It's a bit, you know what I mean? But anyway.
It would be, because I know you probably don't realise the time, but it's now 8:10. So we've been chatting, and you're going to come back. Don't worry, you're going to come back. But please, 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 you do so many different events, and there's a big something going on the 25th of Feb. So please tell the masses.
Okay. What that is really, let me see if I can see this actually.
And we've shared some stuff. Shelley's shared. Yeah. Okay.
What this is basically, right, is the Windrush and Community Awards. I mean, I did the event 2 years ago. It was at the Hat Factory, and the place was ram out. what is Windrush could, but let's just say really, right, I've done many awards, mostly the black community awards, you know, to actually sort of promote positive images and you know, of our people in different spheres, not just the music and the dance, but you know, from all charitable, educational, you know. And some people back in the days, they've got those awards, they've moved on. Yeah. So what this Windrush Award is really, right, it's about the contribution of the Windrush generation, you know, in terms of like their contribution towards British society, you know, and some of the descendants as well. Because like whether in the field of nursing, I know the stereotype, we've made massive contributions. Some of these people, right, you know, they don't get no recognition for what they do. Yeah. So really and truly, right, the Windrush was about our unsung heroes and heroines. And it's 75 years since the Windrush, yeah, that boat came over here, yeah. But the Windrush generation is from 1948 to 1971. That's what is the Windrush generation. See, so that's the common debate.
I didn't know that. And we had a conversation the other day, didn't we, Bob? Because I just thought, you know, I'll be honest with you, in my head, I'm like, and it's like, you know, sort of like my mum's, and not realizing he said 71. Hang on a minute, I'm in that.
That's right, you are, Dee.
I'm in that.
You are. And even in the awards as well, right? I put a bit like Windrush under 25 is recognized. So, you know, so any young person, 25 or under, they can get recognition, because I don't want this Windrush to be about older people. It's in the past and it's just dead. But we don't even know our community, because people dying off all the time. Yeah. You know, which is a part of the cycle. And I'd rather give them the recognition of let them smell the flowers while they're alive, give them the credit. We get into this habit of everybody turning up a funeral, but when people's alive, you know, let's have that bit. Let's you know. And this evening, this event, right? Last time we had it's very fortunate we had Rudolph Walker. You know, he was one celebrity, but this time we haven't got Rudolph Walker as such. But we've got some notable people, you know, and you know, have you guys ever heard of a person named Crucial Robbie?
Yes.
Something, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he used to have a trade stall in the market, and he done very well. He went on 3 Counties radio, yeah, and he's moved on now. He's an organizer for Arsenal Football Club, the fan side. He's a millionaire, whatever. He's done really well. So he's coming back, and he's going to be with Scully, who's on Sovereign. Sovereign was one of the good sound system back in the day. Talk about sound. So we got Sovereign, we got Lover's Choice from Bedford, very, very good. Cultural Roots going to be out of the country. They're the main one. Also, we got Warm and Easy. Warm and Easy, you know, it's got world reggae beats, so you know. It's not no old stuff. You got all kind of mixture, and also you got a young person. You'd be happy with this. You'd be championing this. A young woman, the hottest, baddest DJ. Who you think that is? A young person, hottest, baddest.
You know, I know.
Yes, you got it. I love K-Slash. So she's gonna be doing her thing as well. I tell you, she's sensational. On the singing point, we've got the best singer ever to come out of Bedford. And I kid you not. I kid you not. She's an international star. When I go to Jamaica, I hear her on the record. And who do you think that is, Dee? Who's the best singer ever came out of Bedford?
Is it Marie? I can't remember.
Donna Marie, that's it.
See,
Donna Marie, you know your honors. Hey, Donna Marie, and we got our own awesome Yvonne Michelle. Yvonne Michelle, that she can sing. I'm telling you, she's got the spirit in her. So we got another male performer, one male performer from London, Mr. Chirps. You know, he's very, very good. But on the sort of other tip, and we got
2 more minutes. Sorry.
I'm going to wind up. We got salsa dancing. We got Gilly Gill. He's going to do some salsa dancing. Right?
He was salsaing with my sister on Saturday.
Was he now?
Yes, he was.
When he's going to, you know, Also at the same time, we got a really fantastic Windrush poet, Priscilla Joseph. She wowed the crowd last time when she was here. But one of my main co-hosts, comedian, actor, is John Schmidt.
Oh,
John Schmidt. You know, actor, comedian, DJ, awesome. In fact, back in the day, he was one of the Teletubby. Yeah.
That's right. I can't remember which one. Do you remember he was on the show
The
before?
green one. Yeah, Dipsy,
Yes.
the green one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what he done in fact, he's touring at the moment. He's in Windrush Story. Yeah.
Yes.
And he's going to come to the Grove Theatre.
I know.
Yeah. So it's quite, you know.
We'll put that in show. End of
Yeah,
June.
definitely. And he's been a sound system man as well. He's very multi what you call it. But he's going to do.
Where can people get the tickets? They
can get the tickets they can get it online, which is simpler, www.windrushawards.com.
Yep, Shelley's posted it. It's already out there.
And they can get the tickets from me. Yeah, 07947. My numbers all over the place. Yeah. But just to say what John Schmidt is going to be doing, he's going to do a little, what's it called it? What's the term they call it? A little sort of journey of the Windrush journey with all the songs and what around that time. So, you know, all the different ones. So anyway,
what
tickets,
we'll do, Shell,
just
1 second, Bob.
Price.
What we'll do, Shell, on the Simply Together show, because it's 25th of Feb, let's get Bob on the Simply Together show so he can come on the lunchtime show on the Tuesday as well before the event.
That'd be good. Good.
We'll get you on that also as well, Bob, because that will be either in the next couple of weeks. So we get you
we'll talk afterwards, we talk with, you know. So D, that's our time. So D, don't you want to come on the show and present some things, man? Come on.
Come on the what?
Are you going to come into the event, aren't you now? You're my favorite. You know what? You're my favorite. There's only a couple of them, but you're one of my favorite. You know, you're from a long time. Yeah?
See, I'm so glad you're here. You wouldn't believe me if I was telling you this. You're going like, you're making it up.
Shelley, what do you think? Do you think she ought to come, innit? Yeah? And bring Tishy with you. Yeah?
See, I think we should represent, yes.
Yeah!
We should do. There's a young man that's waiting in the wings, Bob.
Okay.
And as much as I love you, trust me, I love you. But do you know what? I know, don't take it the wrong way, Bob. Don't take it the wrong way. This young man, please make sure you hang around, Bob, and listen in to this. Because I've never met this young man before. I've never met him. I've never spoken to him. So before he decided, before I've even said hello, I need to maintain some sort of, before he goes.
Well, you behave yourself, you.
I don't want him to go before he's even said hello.
I'm out here, but you behave yourself with him, you.
Me?
Yeah.
You're talking to Shelley, right?
No, Shelley. She's so infectious. She can get things out of you.
Go.
We don't interview like, listen, let me get out of it. Maybe when we have a cup of tea and I come back, cup of coffee. Yeah?
You are, Bob.
Ladies.
We're going to get you back.
Lovely
Thank you so much for taking us down memory lane. Because it was, without you realising it, you really did. You know, obviously, you promote the event, and we're going to be doing that also as well. We're going to get you back on our Simply Together show as well. But in terms of sort of like what, you know, we ended up talking about and just the memories of that, that's taken so many people. And when you see and read the comments, taking us back, because all of those people are part, now that they know, they are all part of that Windrush era. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Shelley, enough love, ladies. Yeah?
All right, see you soon. All right, darling, thank you. Bye-bye. So, guys, that was the wonderful Bob Baker. And, you thought he was just going to come chat about the event. The event's been out there. We're sharing the event. The information is on the page. So, yes, it's out there. Please share. Even if you can't attend, please share. Let people know about the event. Okay, and he really did take us back to some of those Windrush times, just us talking and remembering back in the day in certain things when we grew up and what we liked, what we didn't like, what we did, what we didn't do. And I know we've only shared some of it. Now we have got in the house. Now, this young man, as we kind of like, I'm doing a bit of a build up, you can tell. I don't generally do that, in all fairness. So I hope he appreciates this. But this is how we roll at Simply Deez. So Shelley messages me and she goes, I've seen this. What do you think? Or what do you think of having this young man? And there's me. I read it. I'm like,
yeah, she's hopping.
Before he goes, what words did you use? Just in case Akeem's listening, what words did you use? I've
forgotten how I exactly sent it to you.
You sent it to me, but you said, did you say stalk or you said
something? Oh, yes, that was it. Yeah. This is someone I think you should look at. I mean, no, I think it's just someone you should stalk. I mean, look at. It was exactly how I sent it to you.
It was. So I do hope you're listening, Akeem. I hope you realise that you were sought after. Is it going on?
I've been listening all along.
Audio only, young man. You better put your video on. Don't even
bother with that. Oh my goodness! Hello. How's everyone doing? Are you okay?
Are you kidding me? You've got no idea, and this is what is just so beautiful. Did you hear the conversation that me and Shelley were just having?
Yeah, I did. I heard every bit.
Right. Okay.
About the stalking. About the.
Now, do you see what the show's called? Right. The show is called Real Talk with Simply Deez, which is me. So
absolutely.
When she messaged that, and I'm like, you mean stalk? I look on there, and I'm like, I go and get. And so when you didn't message it earlier, I'm going like, oh, please don't tell me you're not coming on, Akeem. I was good. Do you know what? I'd have cancelled the show, and I never cancelled this show. Never.
Oh no!
Not in 5 years.
From the minute that you messaged me, it's been in my diary 100%. I'm just gutted that I'm not in my suit no more. I've just come out of it because I want to relax. You know, I want to relax. So.
Akeem, seriously, we don't. No offense, you don't need to be in no suit. You don't need to be in no suit. So before we do anything more, Shell, I need to tell Akeem we are looking at. Shelley will start. Shelley does a lot of laughing. You'll realise, Akeem, right? So we are both. Shelley's director of Simply Deez events, producer, marketeer, and a whole billion and other stuff. And I kind of somehow come up with some crazy idea of all the different things that we do. Okay, so this show has been going for, it'll be 5 years actually in May. And wow. You're not on here for an interview. I need to tell you that if I didn't tell you that before. I'm not going to interview you at all. We're going to have a little conversation. That's all it is. Now we are nearly at, because we are streaming on Facebook. We are also streaming on YouTube as well. And we are near on just short of 1 million viewers.
Wow.
Why is Shelley laughing, Akeem? Why is she laughing? Do you think she's trying to make out like I'm lying? So what I need to do, Shelley, do me a favour. Can you put in the chat, and actually not even just in the chat, in the actual Facebook, the link for the lives, as in the Simply Deez, Pamtango, or the YouTube, so that Akeem, you can get your friends, family, whoever, they can watch you live. Because this is interactive, by the way. So people comment. So we're having a conversation, Akeem, and then somebody puts something up and I throw it at you. Whatever it might be a question, it might be a comment, it might be whatever it might be. So I very much as I might know something about people, I make out, or I'd rather not know anything, if I'm honest with you. So you know about me now. I'm Dee Bailey. That's all you're going to find out for now. Right. And if you didn't do your research, that's your own fault. So I am, and we are seriously, truly, truly honoured to have you here, young man.
Thank you.
You really don't understand. You don't understand on so many different levels, but we'll go into that as we go along. Now, I don't have a clock. Even though I can see the time, you might have a clock, Akeem. How much time have you given me tonight? 10 minutes, 5 minutes, How long?
Yeah, just go ahead, Dee. Just go ahead. Don't
Well,
worry about
Akeem, do
that.
you know what? I was going to do that because I was going to tell you. Do you know what I mean? Shelley's producing, and don't you worry, we got all the time. So don't try and think you're going to cut me short in your answers. Now, I need to peel right back, because I just know that you're doing some incredible things right now, but you didn't land where you are now. So you got
Definitely.
a twang, you got a little bit of an accent. Don't take it wrong, but you got a little bit of accent. So where were you born, or where you living?
Yeah, so born and bred in Manchester, but from the Caribbean background, so
Which
Jamaican
one? Which
background,
islands?
Jamaica.
Bob Baker. Bob, the guy that was on earlier, will be going like, yay. My family are from Montserrat, my love. Montserrat,
Oh, nice,
Montserrat.
nice. Oh,
Yes. Most definitely. Okay. So you're in Manchester and
yeah.
you've been there for how many years?
So
How old are you? Do you mind me asking?
no, sure. So I'm 28 years old, and so I'm 28, and I've always lived, yeah, in Manchester. I'm mainly I'm mainly from like the Moss Side, Wally Range, and Old Trafford areas of Manchester, because that's where my relatives live, and that's where I spend quite a lot of time. That's where I've worked across my years of growing up, I should say.
Okay. So, okay, you're one of how many? One of one of
So so I've
siblings.
got three brothers and one sister. So I'm one of the five, and I'm the baby. I'm
How
the
did I
wash
guess?
belly. I'm the wash belly.
But Akeem, no offense, you look quite tall. You look quite
Yeah, about just over 6 foot, I'd say. Yeah.
okay. So you're the wash belly. Okay, great. So how was life growing up for you? How was school?
Yeah, so
Did you
life
enjoy
growing
it?
up for me is so school. So during my time in primary school, I absolutely loved primary. I loved primary school because a lot of my teachers during my primary years were my mentors who used to work at the local youth club in the evenings, where I spent
Ah,
quite a lot of my time. So I spent a lot of time with these individuals and looked up to them very much. When I transitioned into secondary school, I would say that's when I'd say didn't so enjoy the early years of secondary school. The reason why was because unfortunately in Manchester there was quite a large proportion of us black Caribbean young boys that were sent to the same secondary school, and it was a secondary school that didn't quite have a good history, didn't quite have a good name, and it wasn't anybody's first choice. So I remember going through that battle of not getting into the secondary school that I wanted to go, being absolutely saddened about that. So joined secondary school. I'd say I wasn't quite focused when I had joined to begin with. For some reason, I thought that it was a time for me to go there and meet friends and to play and have a good time. And it was until I got into year 10. When I got into year 10, I lost a close friend of mine due to gun crime. One of my friends was sadly, shot, and he passed away. And that was the year when I said, right, I'm in year 10. We've almost got the final year of secondary school. There's two ways that this can go. It's either go down the road of revenge, of doing badness, trying to make myself feel better about that, or I go down the other side where I go out there and I try and do something positive to ensure that the streets are safe and that young people are given opportunities to focus and to keep on the right path. So obviously, I've come from a very strict household, and dad being an ex-army man, my father's 20 years in the army, as you can imagine, the household was very, and I didn't get the
we've been
opportunity
talking about that already tonight, as in like the strictness, the
absolutely,
firmness, and discipline, and should it be, should it not be, and
yeah.
yeah.
like as much as I had the flexibility, so in terms of like, for example, I had a routine. So the routine was always come straight home from school, take
Hmm.
uniform off, shower,
Yes.
make sure your
Yes.
uniform's ready for the next day. Then I could go to youth club. So I was in a routine like that. But it was also a very strict household. And my parents basically said to me, look, you know, we know that you've got options of what you can now do in regards to, let's say, the hurt that you're going through from the passing of your friend, but you are not going to go down that path. This is the path you're going to go down. And I remember being given a laptop and being made an email address and being told, look, we know you've got ideas of, ways to engage young people like yourself. What we want you to do is we want you to write down your ideas. We want you to get in touch with local organizations and try and connect with people to try and make sure that, you can create a change. And that was the beginning, honestly. I started
Hang
doing
on a
that.
minute. So how old are you at this point?
At this point, I was 15.
So
So at this
fifth.
point, I was 15, and the first idea that I came up with, and it was because I had quite a lot of associates who I was around, and often after school we'd be speaking, and we had siblings who were at that stage where they were going out on a weekend, and we were always thinking, oh gosh, we'd love to experience that. We'd love to experience that nightlife. And I said, okay, I've got an idea. I said, I've got an idea for under 18 events. I said, in the school holidays, we've got nowhere to go. On a weekend, we've got nowhere to go. And clearly, we're all itching to come together. We're all itching to listen to music and have a little boogie and have a good time. I'm going to write a proposal to host under 18 events, but different. So, not just a party or not just a rave, under 18 events where there'll be organizations present, like Brooke and Connections, giving out information about, sexual health that we weren't getting in school at that time, giving information about different career paths, because at that time, not everybody wanted to go to college after secondary school. So I done that, and I remember the Manchester City Council and Greater Manchester Police got in touch with me and they said, look, we like your idea, we like your proposal, we're going to give you £5,000 to start off the events and we're going to fund it. And that was the beginning.
How much?
£5,000 at the time, and at the time that was I was 15 years old. That was a lot of money, and that funded the projects for the whole year. back
What?
then
We've
back
never
then
received £5,000. God.
honestly.
Oh my God. So hang on. I need to rewind you back a little bit, Akeem, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
So you're kind of living life as you do. Um, the area where you live, is that deemed a like a troublesome area? Or
Absolutely, yeah,
it
yeah.
is? Okay.
Unfortunately, so as so my area is I live in the M16 postcode, which everyone knows about, and which everyone would have heard about, for it always in the media,
Yeah, it's
always
another
in the
one like
head.
Luton. Yeah,
Shelley, the moment you hear M16, everyone goes, whoa, and it's always a negative. So unfortunately, I and, other people from the area, we always had that issue, that problem. And, an example of that is I remember when I was in high school, I was applying for work experience, and I applied for, back then I wanted to go into medicine, and I wanted a work experience placement at a chemist. And I wrote my letter and I submitted it and I put Moss Side as my address. Didn't hear a response back. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna change this and I'm gonna put a different address down. I'm gonna put, a relative's address in Wally Range. Could you believe that once I submitted that same letter, I then got a response and I then got offered the work experience placement. So
wow.
what that showed me is actually it is true that so, the stereotype that was out there about the area that we were living in
Yeah,
was actually affecting our opportunities. And it's crazy, but my a lot of my work with the younger generations was to try and let the younger gen understand that we can't let those stereotypes affect us. You
Yeah.
know, what we can do is we can bounce off that, and we can go out there and we can show that the stereotype that you have, and the image that you have of us, for the simple fact of we live in a certain area because we're of a certain age, we're going to prove you wrong, and we're going to prove that actually the stereotype that you have of us is a wrong stereotype. And I'm glad that I was able to actually do that, because you know all we wanted to do back then when we was in school is we just wanted somewhere to go and spend time. And obviously, there weren't much places for us to go, which
Yeah.
meant that a lot of the time we were leaving from school and we were being on the streets playing Kirby, but we weren't causing no trouble.
Yeah.
But that's all we wanted. We just wanted a hub, and we wanted to be given opportunities to be able to grow, and to do something good.
Yeah. I mean, it's we've got particular areas in Luton that can be worse than others, and I grew up in one of those, and it is that it was, oh, we're not going to update that playground anymore, we're not going to open up that church hall anymore because of what went before. And it does, if there's who said it, I think it's Billy Connolly, that he said that if you bring up a child in the dreariness, that's all you're going to get. You're going to get an adult that's there. If you bring up your child in an atmosphere where you are promoted, you are listened to, that's the kind of adult that you're going to have in that area. Because
Absolutely.
he was talking about him growing up in the area that he did in Scotland, that it was the old dockyards and everything else, and it was, oh, there's nothing now for you. Dockyards are now closed. We don't know what we're going to do with you, kind of thing.
Wow,
And it is, yeah.
definitely, 100%.
Sorry, laptop kind of died off, crashed. Akeem, I'm kind of like, do you know, as I was like logging back in, I was going like, this isn't a dream that we have got this amazing young man. You don't understand, Akeem, and what we have just literally only Saturday have just been agreed funding for a youth event that we're not putting on. It's going to be under the Simply Deez banner, but it is going to be led by one of our members who is young, a youth member, and it's going to be led by them, run by them. We're just hanging around in the background, just supplying the money, to be honest. So all of what you're saying, and to have you on, and what you've done really is kind of like, oh, we are so going to be linking with you. And Shell, I'm telling you, well, I'm not telling you, I'm asking, get it right. My language is atrocious, Akeem, so bear with me.
Now what you're
And
going to say, I'm worried.
I want him. I want you. I would love for you to be at that event. We haven't got a date as yet, Akeem. So
Right.
it's not a case of it's like in the next month or something like that. It wouldn't be anything earlier than June.
Let me know. I will be there.
We would know in plenty of what have you, and we would, yeah. Would we not,
Definitely.
Shell?
Yes.
Even though it's not our event, that there's some things that we're going to have a say. We want you. We want you. So I'm thinking you're, I don't know, 15. What age were you when your friend died?
Yes, I was 15 years old at that time.
15.
Yeah.
And so how do you kind of get your head around? I mean, were there things at school, as in like, did they bring organizations in to kind of speak with you, or to get counseling, or I don't know?
To be honest, at that time, so that was around the years of, let's say, 2007, 2007 to 2010, where the gun and knife crime rate in Manchester was very high. In terms of, a lot of young people's lives were taken. At that time, that's where there was a absolute rise in gun and gang activity. And, back then, there was a need for support for all young people within within the education sector at that time, because it was every couple months another life was taken. Another life was taken. It was either someone's relative or someone's friend, and it was an ongoing cycle for a few years. And this is where I think this was the influence as to what encouraged me to go into education. The fact that when I reflect, I don't think in terms of in actual school, there wasn't much support for young people at that time. But I do have to give a big shout out to a lady called Ruth Booner. I'm not sure if you've heard of her, but she created a program called Reclaim, the Reclaim Project. And she's the one that went into schools. She contacted schools, and she said to schools that, look, this program it's an empowerment project. It's to help.
Sorry, just 1 second, Akeem. The crackling shell. Where's that crackling coming from? Is it Akeem?
I think it's Akeem's earpiece. Yeah.
Is it me? What?
Can you hear it, Akeem?
No.
Can you not? Every time it wasn't doing it before, but.
No, I think it's just as when you talk, it's just crackling slightly.
Right. 1 moment. Let me take it off.
It's just amazing. I was just going to put it in the notes, but it's amazing just how when something so big gives you that, you can either go one way or the other. There's no kind of, you hit that crossroads. It's something big happens to, like, as part of you, and you could have gone down the route of retaliation, joining in with the gangs and everything else, or you then make a stance and say, no, I'm actually going to go the other way. And we've been in, like, spoken to quite a lot of different charities and projects and things that are set up, and it's that kind of, and it actually makes what you do more important, and makes it a lasting thing, because you've got that drive to do it.
Absolutely.
It's something important specifically for you, that you actually then do stuff.
Absolutely. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, bro. Yeah, it was so this lady, I remember, she contacted all the local schools, and she said, look, I've created a program called Reclaim, and the whole point of the Reclaim project is to encourage young men who, let's say, are currently not on the right path, to make the correct choices and to guide them and to create opportunities for them to rise and to develop. And I remember each school in South Manchester at that time, they each nominated a handful of students who they felt needed, who needed the project at the time. I was one of the ones from my school who was nominated for this project. And I remember hearing about it. And I remember the day when we all looked at each other and we said, wait, all the black boys have been chosen for this project with this woman who we don't know. I said, so I remember us all looking at each other thinking, something's dodgy, something's not right. So I remember us saying, right, we'll go to this project, and if we don't like it, we're going for the door. And I remember us being told, right, next week, you've got 1 week off school, and for that week, you to attend the project all week. And we were like, yeah, something's not right. Anyway, we went to the project on the first day, and we absolutely loved the project, to the point where that was 2007. We're now in 2023, and I am now one of the trustees for her program. And we're still working closely together up to today. It just it definitely made me see more to life at that time, because at that time I needed something like that, because the schools weren't doing it. Back then, remember, now things have changed in the education sector, where now there's programs, there's CAMs, there's other services for young people who need that support. Whereas back then, there wasn't really much services that schools could tap into. So she basically saw the gap and jumped in. And, the Reclaim project was amazing. We traveled wide and far. We went to House of Parliament and spoke about, the importance of investing in youth. We traveled, we fundraised, we had the opportunity to have a voice. And that was where my community work journey began. It was literally from that moment.
Wow. So from something so tragic, it has then sparked something in you. What were you planning in prior to your friend passing? What was kind of the area that you thought you were going to go into? Was it?
So
Um,
prior to my friend passing, the area that where I wanted to go into the medicine sector.
oh
And
wow!
the reason why back then I said, right, I want to go into medicine. I said the reason why is because I quite fancied the idea of the long, the long years of study,
Really?
and being able
Why?
to. I thought it was just something that
That's
had,
like 7 years, I think it is, isn't it?
yeah,
7 years.
7 years, yeah.
Lord mercy. Is that because you thought it was going to be just one long party?
No, I just thought to myself, it's something to learn, quite a long time to learn something new. And to maybe, leave Manchester and to focus and to study. But then things didn't quite go that way because when I had done my GCSEs, I got all my grades, I passed all my GCSEs, but to get onto the medicine course, you needed an A in maths, and I didn't
Oh,
have the A. I had the B. So back then, so they said, I remember going into the college that I wanted to go, and bearing in mind, when I left high school, especially after the years of messing around and not making the right choice and not taking it serious, going into year 11 after the passing of my friend and then saying, right, now it's time for me to focus. When all my friends were applying for all the most popular colleges close to home, I applied to a college that was an hour away from home. And I was the only one from my high school that was going to my college. And the reason why was because I thought now's time for me to distance. Now's time for me to just focus and to just smash college so that I can just, develop.
mhm.
So I remember going to this applying for this college, and I remember walking in on the open day, and there was this. I saw like a lecturer who was there, but for some reason, me and this lecturer, we just got on straight away. And she took to me and I took to her. And I remember calling me over and saying, come here. So I went over and she said, tell me more. What are you looking for? And I told her. And that's when I remember getting the bad news from her saying, you won't be able to do the medicine course, but I've got a plan. And I said, oh, what's the plan? I said, because I really want to go to this college. And she said, right. She said, you can do a childcare and education course for 1 year. Within that time, we will enroll you to resit your maths. And if you get the A, you can then do the medicine course next year. She said, but from the person that I've met, I feel that once you do the childcare course, you are
You ain't
not
going to want
going
to
to
do
want to
medicine,
transition over. And
mate.
I looked at her and I thought,
Don't think so.
childcare? Me? I said, oh my gosh. And I remember she was telling me about the cohort, and she'll tell you what made me sign up to the course? The fact that I knew that it was all women and no males in the course. And I said, yes, this is the time to find
Sold.
a woman. Honestly, that was the driving force. And I thought that was the selling point. When she said, oh, I've got some sad news though. You're gonna be the only male. I said, sign me up. I said, sign me up. So honestly, and we done the course, and when we completed it, I said to her, look, I said, education is what I want to do. And I remember laughing and laughing and laughing. And she said, I told you, I said, education is what I want to do. I said, she's called Pat Norris. I said, Pat, I said, the primary school, which was my old primary school where I'd done my last placement, they've called me and they said they've got a job going that they want me to apply for. And she said, go for it. I applied for the job and I got the job, and I went from college straight into the primary school where I started as a level
Oh
one
my
teaching
gosh.
assistant. And everyone knows that to start as a level one teaching assistant is a graft because you're working long hours and you're doing everything for very little money, but it's the
Yeah,
starting point. But at that
yeah, yeah.
time, I was 17, so I started as a level one teaching assistant, went straight up to an HLTA, went and done my teacher's training. So I'd on the job whilst being at St Mary's for the 8 years. I went uni in the evenings for 6 years. So
Oh
whilst
wow.
being there for the 8 years, I'd done my foundation degree in teaching, my Bachelor of Arts in Education, my Master's in Education, and my PGCE. So I went from being a level one TA up to classroom teacher, up to IT lead. Then I left there and I went from primary to secondary, where I started as a pastoral leader, then went up to head of year, then lead pastoral manager, and then this year in January, I've left from my secondary school and come to a grammar school as assistant principal. So it's crazy. The journey, if I'm honest, it's yeah. It still don't believe. I
You just
still
reeled that
don't.
off like I don't even know. You just reeled that off like no, and I'm, as you're reading it off, I'm going like, well, actually, that's a time it would have taken you to become a doctor, mate.
And honestly, and yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Because in the end, I ended up doing the 6 years in uni.
Yeah,
Really, when
exactly.
it would only be an extra year to do the medicine course. So it's crazy how things work out. But I'm so grateful for how they've worked out. And the same college tutor, Pat Norris, who was the one that, guided me that on that
Yeah.
first day calling me over. I speak to Pat nearly every week, up to today. I spoke to Pat not long ago. Every year Pat comes to my birthday parties and we meet up for lunch. And
Oh, wow.
so all these people that have been a part of my journey, from Ruth Ibegbuna, who I spoke to, who was the founder of Reclaim. I'm now a trustee of Rekindle, which is her supplementary school that she opened up. We get on very close. I was speaking to her up to half an hour before coming on the show, where we had a Zoom. Pat Norris, who's the one that guided me straight into the education sector in a way that she wasn't even doing it in a way of do this, do that. It was try this, see how you think. She guided me through it. She gave me all the books she had. I'm still in contact with her. And it's about, and this is why I share this message with the young people. And I say, look, appreciate everyone that comes into your life and, supports you in any way. And make sure that you never forget who was there at the time when you needed the support. So if I can help any of these individuals, I tell them any project that they do, I'm there. It don't matter where I am in the country, I'll travel back for them. And it's about just showing the gratitude and the appreciation for the fact that at the time when I needed the guidance, they were there.
Yeah.
So it's only right that I now support them in any way that I can, but also to share the journey with the younger generations, to know that it's not all the time that you will map out your life and it will go the way you think it will. If you told me at the age of 16 that I'd be assistant principal in 12 years on, I would have laughed and I would have said, me, no chance. I feel like the reason why I connect and why I have such a good relationship with the younger people is, when I go into work, I go into work and, I may be in my suit and my tie, but I don't change me. I don't
Yes.
take off my jewelry. I still get my lines in my hair. I
You
come
know
in every
what?
morning with my
Back in the
do-rag
day,
lines.
because I'm just
Yeah.
a little bit older than you, Akeem, just a little bit. And back in the day, then say they weren't allowed, right? They'd be sent. Their kids would be being sent home for
See?
just having unbelievable, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Exclusions and all these kind of things, as in like, so why you're thinking your child's been bad and that? Well, actually, no, they haven't been bad. It's because they've something like that.
Yeah.
But yet other people could have different color hair, but that's okay. But you couldn't have, and yeah,
It's crazy, isn't it? How
yeah,
the education system was and how it
yeah,
slowly transitioned. I'll say slowly because it's not going as quick as it should with some things, but
yeah,
it's slowly getting there. But it takes for schools to understand the importance of having the correct representation within the schools that can create the change that's needed. It's important that young people are going to school and seeing people from their community, not always, individuals traveling in from a different city to work and then going back
yeah.
home. Sometimes
Because they're
it's
not going to take
those,
that. Yeah,
absolutely, it's those who they can connect with, and it's those who, they see on a weekend and they see that we're real people that,
yeah.
they will be
Really
able
care.
to form that close connection with.
Oh, wow. I I don't even know what, when I say I don't know what to say, I'm kind of just my daytime job. I work for Bedfordshire's Violence and Exploitation Reduction Unit.
Wow.
So very much when kind of like Shelley sort of like shared, and I'm like, oh, you don't understand. You're like gold. I feel, and do you know what? With the name Akeem, obviously people must joke, sort of like coming to America.
To America.
Sorry, I had to say that, didn't I?
Yeah, I think that's what I was named after, to be fair.
Oh,
Honestly.
well, you are, as in royalty. That's why. And just your whole. So I heard all what you've said, but what have you got around you? And I know you said obviously teachers, as in the mentoring, all that sort of side of things. But in terms of your friendships, relationships outside of that, what's keeping you grounded? And kind of, just the norm from going, as you said, 12 years on and to being an assistant principal. That is no kind of what they call it mean feat. How do you stay grounded?
Yeah, I'd say, I've got the honor of having, a big, loving family around me. I've got a very big family and who we're very close as well. So every Thursday, every Saturday, we meet up. If it's lunch on a Saturday, Thursday.
Akeem, don't try and do what I did. Come on, boy. Come on. We ain't buying that. We're just getting into the groove, aren't we, Shell? We're getting into the groove. Oh my gosh, we have got Prince Akeem on the show. I'll go, we got Prince Akeem. I'm going to watch Coming to America.
I think he's
Coming to America.
because
He'll be looking back on. Well, I don't know. Maybe not when he hears my singing. Oh my gosh!
So how all the details and stuff that came up for Akeem and where I found him was, you got to understand that where he's late 20s, he's 28, 29, that
28, I think he said,
is the youngest vice principal in the UK.
Yep, and because he's been in the
He
voice
gets
and stuff.
classed as
Don't you worry,
principal
Akeem. We're
because
talking
then-
about you. Yeah, and just so matter of fact, you can imagine at school, you'd just be like, assistant principal, and you're like looking for, and it's like, that's him. What do you mean that's him? Just an ordinary guy that's just so. Can see how the young people just totally.
Yeah, it's one of those things as well that if you're taking in everything that's then around you, as he said himself, that how he then speaks to his students and stuff, it's because he's put his thoughts out there and how he's spoken, that someone has then seen something in him that he didn't realize. And then the next thing and explains, oh, actually, if you try doing this and whatever, it just shows that if you're, I mean, there could have been that one particular day that you didn't want to speak up or go to college, and it's like, well, actually, no, there's not that course available, or you can't do that, and then you could have picked off and walked out. You just got to go with some of these things and grab at challenges and stuff.
Sometimes, which is, sorry, my laptop's just all over the place. What we've said before is, as in like teachers, not just teachers, actually, as in adults, understanding the impact of what we do and what we say,
how we're saying it, how we're teaching it.
Ultimately, down the line, you as a adult will be quoting back the good times, and when people think you're not going to remember, even like Tiana, you sort of say to her now, and she remembers things back from when she was like 3, and think like, do you remember things that far back?
Yeah,
it's like you're thinking like, yeah, they do. So how we talk and how we all of that.
It's I mean, like we'd had, would have been like talking recently, because he had his mum at his high school as a school nurse. I had my mum as a dinner lady when I was in junior school. So our schooling was a little bit different because you then got to know your school teachers in a different way.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just that, oh, you can't get away with stuff because. I think he's come back now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Akeem,
you
please don't think you're going to try and skank and you think you're going to get away from us just like
I'm
that.
so
That ain't working.
apologies for that.
Don't you apologise, love. You're back. That's the main thing. As Shelley was kind of like saying, because this is what how I just realised as soon as we were kind of liaising, it's like, oh, here, not really kind of understanding the impact. Because when I shared the post, once you said, yes, you were going to come on, and I shared it onto, I think I had the event and I shared your information on there, the amount of comments and views and everything like that, lit up. Now, you've not mentioned, but Shelley's just brought it up again, but you haven't mentioned, are you not the youngest?
Yeah. So the FE had informed me that I'm the youngest assistant principal in the UK, which was a big shock to me, to be honest. I did feel like I was very young in the role, because when I reflect on when I was in school, there definitely wasn't anyone close to my age that you'd often see in leadership. And if I'm honest, I want to give it, I think it's very good what my school have done. And I know that it's one of the schools that's let's say other schools have seen this now and will be more open to the fact that it's a
Younger.
good idea. And I would say that my school is definitely one of the schools in the starting point to show that age, race, background, past history shouldn't affect anyone being able to grow and go into leadership. Because sometimes, with certain jobs, they often hear, oh, he's in his 20s, or he's too young, he's not ready. But that's where things have been different, because since going into my school, I remember on my first day, and I walked into reception, and one of the boys ran over to me and said, "Oh, sir," I said, "Are you okay? Oh, are you going to be one of our mentors?" And I just said, "Yeah, in some way," and I
It's all right, Shell. You know what it is, Shell? He wants to come back.
He's
He's like going like, how can I buy for time? How can I stay on the show longer? He doesn't realise he don't need to do that. We're going to get him. He don't need to do that. Oh my gosh. It's like kind of like
broken, yeah.
Okay, so that's International Men's.
Yes.
That's the youth event. It's true though, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Oh, now
I mean, as he was just saying, sort of even for the kids to then say, "Oh, you're going to be one of our mentors," and not assume that he would be a high up kind of teacher.
Yeah,
It shows
and that's something I was going to ask as well. Does he that weight? Well, just the thought of that being assistant principal in my head, even at my age and experience, what having that, there's a weight. So I can't imagine 28. I can imagine it's even more, because you want to even more so got to prove that they've made the right decision. That at your age you can do this and you can, and all of that. I think he's incredible. I need to know if he's still at home. His mum's probably pulled out the Wi-Fi. He's probably been on it too long. Cutbacks. So for those, because we do have a few people still watching, that, and obviously people will be catching up with this at another time. This is what we do at Simply Deez, isn't it, Shell? We find people that we don't even know, that we learn things from all the time. I think that connecting this young man with Stephen the barrister.
Yes. And then going the other way as well. But I mean, I know it wasn't knife crime. That his was gun crime, but it's still the same kind of backgroundy kind of story.
I just meant as in, like, I'm sure sort of like with a connection, Stephen
so,
may
yeah.
well go and do some stuff there, and I'm
Yeah.
sure there'll be things that he could recommend for Akeem.
You know what it is?
Wait, did you hear what I said?
No,
I said you're going to kill me, but I don't care because you can obviously watch this back on replay. I said to Shel, does he still live at home? Do you still live at home?
You know, I do. I've got my mum's just bought me up my oxtail and my jerk chicken and my rice. Honest, I'm a knife and fork.
See, you could have the biggest job in the world. Mum's still gonna come up with the oxtail.
You know, it's funny enough. I said to Mum last week, I said, "Oh, Mum," I said, "I think it's time for me to go." She said, "Yes, it is." I said, "How about if I do?" I said, "You stay on a Friday and my dad stays on a Saturday." She said, "That will not be happening." So I said, "Right, okay, that's the hint then." There wasn't even any moment of no, don't. It was like, yes, I think. She said, "I think it's time." I said, "Oh."
You know what I said to Shelley, Akeem? I said, I wonder if he still lives at home, because I said, I wonder if he's been on the internet too long and his mum's pulled the plug on the Wi-Fi.
No, it's telephone calls keep coming through, because normally with the work colleagues we normally have like a review phone call at the end of each night before we sign down to see how the day's been and stuff. So I just said
you've
to
been
them,
dodging it.
yeah, but I'll catch up with them in a bit. But what I was saying before was, yeah, so I said to the young man, I said I will be in some way, and that was the end of the conversation. So the first day, the head said, "Oh, Mr. Muddell, we want you to present assembly," and I said, "Yeah, that's fine." But in my head, I thought, "Oh gosh," because sometimes I like to just have a little bit of a guide or a plan, rather than being put on the spot. But I said, it's okay. So when I went into the assembly hall and I introduced myself, it was absolutely hilarious because all you heard was. That's all I heard. That's all I heard in the audience, and it made me laugh. But I started laughing straight away because I looked at my colleagues and I said, "See, this is what I'm trying to say. The younger gen are not used to seeing, someone that's similar to them or that they can relate to, in positions, and that needs to change really, because it's bad that it took for me I had to show one parent my badge when I introduced myself. She thought I was joking because she said, "Oh, I need to speak to someone. I need to speak to someone in leadership." And I said, "Oh, yes." I said, "That's what I said. I'm here." And she went, "No, I need to speak to someone in leadership." And I said, "Yeah, this is my year group." And I had to do the whole showing my badge and everything. And in my head, I thought, that needs to change. I don't understand why anyone thinks that for someone to be in a certain position, they have to look a certain way. They don't. I've got a close friend who's a barrister, but when we're out in the club on the weekend, you wouldn't believe it. Do you get where I'm coming from? Like, it needs to change. So this is what I keep saying to the young people, and that's why I'm glad that my school have started it, and I know that schools since have had the conversation. And it's good, and it needs to change, because I had one of my old students at my old school said to me, "You know what, sir? Like, you've made me realize that if I want to become that head teacher, I can." And I looked at him and I said, this was in Asda last week, and I said, "I've always told you can." He said, "Yeah, I know you have, sir," but he said, "You just don't see it." And I said, "You're right." I said, "I can't actually disagree with you. You don't see it." But I said, "Of course you can." I said, "Because you've never come across someone." His point was, "Oh, I've just never seen a black male head teacher. And I said, fair enough. And I said, you know, throughout my study, like that was one of my a part of my research for my last dissertation when I finished uni. And the statistic was shocking. It was really bad. That's what had influenced me. And that's why I said, yeah, one day I want to become a head. I'm going to climb and aim for headship, because there's just not many. And, you know, I just think that that's something that needs to change. And there does need to be representation in every school, primary, secondary, you know, of the young people from that community. Because when there is, you see the benefit. You know, I find out everything that happens on a weekend from my lot. Sir, do you know what happened on Saturday? I say, come in, let me know. Do you want any chocolate? Sit down, tell me the tea. But yeah, honestly, and that's why then members of staff will say, so sir, what's wrong with him? And I'll say, come in. He said, do you get where I'm coming from? Like, it's because they feel that they can connect with me like that. And that's why, you know, I'm just fortunate to be in the position. And funny enough, I just sent an email to my head teacher and the rest of my senior leadership team to say that last month, when I first came to the school, I assessed the cohort. And although my school's a grammar school, I assessed the cohort, and we've got a large percentage of young people who are, you know, who are from less fortunate backgrounds, and we've got a large proportion of young people who, let's say, who need a bit of more love. If you get where I'm coming from, you know, they've been through a lot. They've either been on a child protection plan, they've been on a child in need plan, they've been through a lot throughout growing up, and they now just need a bit of, you know, a bit of love. So I wrote a proposal, and I applied for some funding to launch 2 projects, and I found out today that I managed to get the funding. So I managed to get £3,250 to spend on 2 cohorts of young people. So what I'm going to do is so there's going to be 10 students from each year group who they're going to receive like a £30 food voucher just to give to their parents and carers to top them up with their shopping, and, you know, to get some extra items, because obviously the cost of living right now is absolutely ridiculous. A lot of our families, they're coming from households where there's 8-9 children with just a single parent. And sometimes I think, oh my goodness, do you know what I mean? So they're going to receive their gift vouchers this week. And then all our students who are under the safeguarding team, who need a little bit more of an uplift, you know, we've hired a coach and we've booked out Nando's, and they're going to go for a Nando's evening. And, you know, these are just little things that ain't a lot, but it's little things that will just give the young people that need it that extra spark. So I'm going to be doing a lot of that, applying for funds here and there, fundraising, and incorporating the funds back into the establishment to spend on the young people, to make sure that they're getting the opportunities that they don't get on a weekly basis.
It's surprising, just like the little thing, to understand where a child's coming from. I mean, there's one thing that I always use when I'm talking, that part of a youth group that I was belonging to, a child always used to come in and he would always play up, and it was kind of like, no, you can't come, no, you got to sit down here, and he just always would. And what we worked out was happening was he was one of the younger ones in his household, and the only way that he could get his parents' attention was by playing up, even if that meant that he was screaming and shouting, the parents were screaming and shouting at him, and possibly getting a cuff around the ear or whatever. That was the only way he knew how to get attention. When you sat down with him and spoke to him during the evening, perfect child, absolutely perfect, would do anything for you. And it just kind of like, just that one thought of, hang on a bit, how is it for him? Why is he doing this? And yeah, it wasn't anything in particular. It literally was, that's the only way that I know how I can get attention, because you're in a big group of people.
Yeah.
And to do little things like that with children as you go through school is just, yeah, it is amazing. It is amazing.
Well, absolutely. It doesn't take a lot. And this is what I keep saying. And, sometimes it doesn't take a lot at all. It really doesn't. I managed to get it at Christmas at my old school. I managed to get quite a lot of stock donated from Adidas. And it wasn't, it was basically old stock that they'd normally, like bring back to the factory. And what I'd done is all our less fortunate students, I set all the items out in the hall, and I didn't tell them what it was for, and I collected them all. This was on my last day, and I brought them into the hall, and I said, everybody choose 2 items. And you should have seen it on their face. And it was things like there was trainers and like jackets and things like that. But like some of them were leaving in tears. Some of them were leaving in absolute happiness. Some of them, like one said to me, and there weren't much stock left when this young person had took, I think it was a hat, and he said, this is the best day of my life. And I looked and I thought, because I thought he was being sarcastic. So I was going to say, give me back the hat. But, honestly, I thought he was being sarcastic. So I'm looking at him, I'm thinking, cheek. But then I realised he wasn't. He actually meant it. He said, no, sir. He said, I actually mean it. He said, no one gives me nothing. And I said, what do you mean? I said, don't say that. I said, of course they do. He said, no, sir. He said, because I'm always, and these were his words, because I'm always bad, I never get nothing. And I thought, oh my goodness. So because, this young man, he has needs, yeah? He doesn't always take his medication, which means that he doesn't always make the right choice. So because of that, he's never been, and I just thought, oh my goodness. So that's why I'm glad that my assistant principal role, my remit is professional development. So that's managing enrichment and careers and community and post 16 and bringing in external agencies and creating the projects and getting the young people out there in the community delivering. And I'm glad. I feel like they definitely did. I think they must have looked at my CV and wrote my job description, because it's just the things that I do outside of school wrapped into the job. So I can't complain, and I'm fortunate, and all I can do now is make sure that I come in here and show the school that they made the right choice, taking a young man who lives across the road from school, by the way. My house is facing
So you should never be late, right?
Never late. Never late. Come in with my stock in front of my head sometimes. But it's just about me proving to them that they made the right choice in selecting me out of the pool, because it was a large pool. There was quite a lot of us, and me just making sure that I flag for the students and show other schools that look, they need to do more of this. Definitely. And then climb to get into leadership, into higher leadership. That's my aim. I'm giving myself 7 years.
Oh wow!
I know I'm being too ambitious, but
no, you're not.
Yeah, and some might think 7 years. Yeah, right. But I did say that I was giving myself till 30 to be to try and get an assistant principal position, and I managed to scrape 2 years off. So now I'm adding those 2 years onto the 5. So by 35 years old, hopefully, God willing, I hope to. But even if not, it doesn't even matter when I get there, I get there. Do you know what I mean? But that's my aim, and that's definitely my final aim. God willing, until I retire. I've got 39 years left till I can retire. Checked last week.
I ain't got that long. I don't think I've even got 9 years.
Lucky you. I checked last week. I don't know why I check every week, because it's not moving. Everyone says, why do you check every week? I said, I don't know.
I don't know. That doesn't make sense, does it? You kind of like so many years to that, but then do you know what? I'm so many years off retirement.
Yeah, I know.
I was saying to Shell when you kind of came off, I said, I can't imagine. Say, for instance, if myself was in a role, it would be like it would be a weight. Assistant principal, there's a weight. So bearing in mind you now, and it's out there in the universe, you are the youngest assistant principal in the UK. So do you feel that weight?
You know what? I'm just wondering. how I'm still the fact that I'm still single. I don't know what's happening. Like honestly, I don't know what's happening. Even when the article went and I saw the thousands of views, I said, right,
It's all over.
I must get somebody now. But I'm still just here dry. So that's what I'm more thinking about. No, I'm only joking. I'm only joking. Everyone's not going to take me serious on this call. Well, honestly, no. If I'm being honest,
coming to a man.
don't you start the don't.
There's the petals. If we'd have realised, Shell, we'd have had the petals, throw the petals at you.
That means if you invite me for a real life show, I'm not coming. Honestly,
Oh, let me say that now. Oh, yes, you are.
I'm only
Like, I
joking.
can't make it. Like, helicopter's just arrived for you, love.
But no, I still feel like it's not settled into me because
Yeah,
like
of course.
I'm grateful to have such good friends around me, and the lads because I on a weekend I make sure a Friday or a Saturday we all meet up as a friendship group, and they always say to me, Akeem, this was last week. I said, what? They said, you don't look. I said, I don't look what? They said, you just don't look like, you're not you're not like, on top of the world. I said, what do you mean? I said, I am. They said, but they said, yes, don't get me wrong, you're happy. We can tell you're happy, but like, you should be like jumping up on that. And I said, it's just not settling into me. Like I said, I feel like it's happened very quick. So it was literally, leaving on the 16th of December, starting on the 3rd of January. It was very quick. I just got stuck in with the job and getting on it, finding my feet. But I don't feel like it's deeped in me that much. But when I did see the headline in the article, and when I was contacted to say that they had done the research and found that I'm the youngest one, that's when I then felt a moment of happiness, because I thought not because I'm the youngest one, but I just thought, oh my goodness, like if my gran was here, she'd be so proud, because that was always something that she always said. She always said, you need to stop party. I care about this party, and I used to say, no, I'm 16. What do you want me to think about? I could be like, mortgage. I'm like, mortgage. I'm 16. Like honestly. So, but sometimes I sat there last week and I just thought, I know as a fact she's definitely just looking down and just thinking, oh my gosh, she's done it. Because, I was definitely one of the youngest grandchildren before my granddad passed, and I spent a lot of time with her. And yeah, because I was one of the youngest ones, it was like, right, Akeem now, because the rest, grateful to, the rest are all doing great things, siblings all in great roles and great jobs as well. So because I was the youngest one at that time, the pressure was on me, and it was always, so Akeem, what you going to bring to the table? And I used to think, oh my goodness, like honestly,
go study for 6 years.
Oh, I had that pressure, honestly, and I think it was a bit of that made me think, you know what, I can't let the family down when everyone else is doing great and everyone else is focused and doing great. I need to join kind of join the addition. So yeah.
So because you've got that role now, okay, so do you get more? I know mums should be hanging around somewhere. Do you get more oxtail, and do you get more? Do you get a bigger plate?
Well, my mum's trying to charge me more per month now. Like honestly, I don't know why I opened my mouth. Honestly, all I'm getting told is, if you think you're giving the same amount, I'm like, oh. honestly, it's resulting in, when I'm suggesting to now go out. So like last week I said to mum and dad, right, come on, let's go for brunch. And they said, all right then, no problem. And I thought, right, something's not right, because they never like honestly, normally it's, oh, we're tired, we just want to relax. So when I heard all right then, and mum dressed up, I was dressed up, and we walked into the restaurant, and they said, oh, what do you want to drink? My dad said, oh, I could do with, some champagne. And I'm looking at him thinking, champagne? I said, champagne? I said, I'd never seen you drink champagne. I'm like, yeah, champagne. And everyone's ordering steak and lobster, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like, where's this gonna go? When the bill arrived, it got put right in front of me. So this is what's going to be happening from now. Hence why I'm trying to escape whilst I can. Honestly, dear me.
Oh,
But you know what? That's the least I can do. You know, that's the least I can
yeah.
do for the, for the upbringing and the support and the guidance.
Just giving you that right foundation.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's the least that I can do. So I have, made the pledge that every Saturday I bring them out for dinner.
Wow.
Every Saturday.
Every Saturday.
Once a week. Yeah.
Wow.
But other than that,
You're
nothing
proper
else.
assistant.
No,
You sure
other
you're
than
just
that-
assistant principal? You sure you're not
Other than-
principal?
Listen, I'm talking budget places, love.
Okay,
Like,
hang on a minute. Have you had your first pay?
yeah. Well,
I was
the
just going to
tax
say
man.
that.
The tax man. Oh my goodness.
Damn
That's
it.
another person that I'm not happy with, but we'll speak about him the next time. Honestly.
Oh,
Oh,
Akeem, you have been, I can't even put into words, just absolutely incredible. And the fact that you've got this title, but that's all it, when I say that's all it is, it's a title, but you are no different. So ordinary is not the right word. And I've got somebody trying to pinch something, so I can't think at the same time. But just so grounded, which is what you know you need to be for you to deliver what you need to deliver. You are in the place that you're supposed to be right now. In terms of sort of like moving up, it would be your own school, my dear.
it would
be
thank you.
your
I'm glad you
own
said that,
school.
Dee.
I know it. I can see it. Because when you're sort of saying like, I'm thinking, I don't know about no 6-7 years, because you're going to have your own.
Thank you.
You're going to have your own.
Thank
You've
you.
got all the tools. You've got all the tools. And as you go and as people see you, they'll be drawn to you. And obviously there'll be some that aren't the right people, but you'll be able to sift them out and the right people, and you will have your own.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's that positive influence that makes me feel like, right, yes, I can do it. Let me just, that's why sometimes it's nice to, like to just be given that push. Because as much as everyone always says, oh, Keem, you're always happy. Oh, you're so confident. And sometimes I think, yeah, because of trying, you have to just persevere, and you have to just, like kind of get on with it. But I'm glad that, that you shared that with me, and definitely.
I can see it. I was going like, I don't know, he's talking about 6-7 years. I was going like, that is not no 6-7 years. The short time you've been on the show, I'm telling you now, that is not 6-7 years. Only if you want it to be that. You have the capacity, I'm telling you now, your own. Not to be sort of thinking, your own school. So you literally dictate who you have in there, how that school is, the whole thing. You.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dee. And thank you, Shelley, as well. It's been an absolute honor. Honestly, I'm glad that we connected now. And any events that you guys have got happening, please invite.
What do you mean?
Me to them.
You're asking us. Shelley's already kind of like, we're already like, yeah. I think it might be when you were off, we were going like, yeah, that, yeah. For that. We're going to invite you to that.
I love any excuse to travel out of town. So honestly, any excuse. Listen, I went. Wait, I'm gonna tell you this story. Sorry, I know it's got nothing to do with the trouble. I went to a wedding a few weeks ago, and it was a couple. Then? Well, it was a couple that I met a few weeks before that, and everyone was saying, "And you went to the wedding?" I said, "Yeah, we met each other in the bar, and they invited me to the wedding." And I travelled all the way to the wedding. It took me 4 hours to get there. And everyone's like,
where was it?
What? I don't quite know them. I know them, but I don't know. So what it was.
Where was it?
Oh, where was it? It was in Watford. It was in Watford, but I was coming from. But it was on your doorstep. But I was coming all the way from. So I wasn't even in Manchester. And I said, no. I said, we met. And when you meet people, it was a lovely couple. And we were just speaking for ages in this restaurant. I was with my work. I called them my work family, and they were there, and we got on so well. We was talking about everything, just similar to this conversation, to be honest, about the young people and about the education system. And they said, "Oh, we're getting married." They said, "We'd love you to come." I said, "I will be there." And I went. So honestly, this is me. It doesn't matter if I meet you tomorrow or if I meet you next week, and I'm always gonna be like that. Honestly, I don't feel like I'm actually gonna change. I'm just a people's
No,
person. Loves meeting new
you got to
people.
understand, Akeem. If you change, you're not going to be Akeem.
Yeah, no,
So
you're right.
you got to understand what you've got now is you are a brand. I see you as a brand.
It is, yeah.
You are your brand. So you can't change. As in,
Thank
like the
you.
core stuff, you can't change. Don't get me wrong, you'll grow, but as in like the core and how you are. Because we've already, because I was saying to Shell, need to introduce him to our mate Stephen, who is a barrister, and
Wow.
he, you will so love Stephen. And I'm telling you, he will so love you, seriously, and make that connection. And he is a barrister, does cases in the Old Bailey and all sorts. And yeah, and his, I don't know if I should say speciality, is that the right word, Shell? As in like young people, and through the criminal justice system, as in like knife crime and that kind of stuff.
Wow.
And he goes to schools and establishments and organizations that teaching them the side that he sees. And he sees, like, say, 15-year-olds or whatever they are. And when they're given it all of that, when he sees them, they're barling for their mother.
Yeah.
He's taken them into the Old Bailey itself, hasn't he? And he's kind of, this is where you will be if you carry
This is
on
the
like this.
reality of all of that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
You know, and I'm sure in terms of if you were doing something, that would be something that he would even, yeah. So definitely going to make that connection. You've got loads to do. You've got food to eat. You're making us well gel, Akeem.
No problem at all.
And we need to stay on the good side of your mum. We don't want you kicking her. We don't want her to kick you out. Not yet, anyway.
I know. Honestly, definitely not daring me.
And you've got school tomorrow, and I'm sure you've got. Have you got marking to do?
Yeah, well, so funny enough. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm still in that routine. So I'm going to eat. I'm going to iron my clothes, and then I'm going to go on the laptop and just do a bit of work for maybe an hour or so, and then I'll sign off.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Shell, we I know you're sort of saying you feel honoured, but seriously, you didn't have to say yes. Didn't know me when I approached you from anybody or anything, and the fact for you to say yes and come on, and with all that you've shared, where we had you already there, you're even higher now. Seriously, even higher now. So if we're going to send you some information about us and what we actually do. If there is anything that you are doing, Akeem, in the meantime, before we grab you and get you down to, we're in Luton, by the way. I don't know if we said we're actually in
Luton. Nice.
Yeah, we're in Luton. But before we grab you kind of down here, there's things that you're doing, and even though we're in Luton, we're very much on. So we've just got onto TikTok. We're getting with it. We're not all oldies. They're not all oldies in our group. There's a lot of young people, and we would love, if there's anything that you're doing and you want out there, we're more than happy to be sharing it. If you kind of doing something really, and it's like, Dee, can I come on the show? Can I? Of course you can come on the show. Come on the show, chat, promote, whatever. If something happens and you want to share it, to remember, we're just short. I think we're just over the million now. Just hit the million marker. Just hit the million marker, so your friends, family, and whoever else can watch this back on Facebook, on YouTube, and see the jokes, pure utter jokes that we've had this evening. But at the same time, there's been a serious element. There's been for myself, certainly, I know for Shelley, the inspiration and motivation, and the just knowing that you can achieve. You've not just set a high bar, it's high anyway, but you've just made things reachable to the young people. It's not just talk, it's not just I can actually, if I was a younger person now, I could actually, all what you're saying, it's like, do you know what, actually, because you know we've got this thing about a ceiling. You're breaking. You've broken that. Not breaking. You've broken that big time. Broken that big time. 28. Cool, blimey, 28. You think back now, Shelley. What were you doing at 28? You didn't have a. Did you really have a clue on life at that age?
No, not really. You kind of think that you do.
Yeah, but
It
haven't.
is that trench. Yeah.
And you're sort of like so focused, Akeem. So focused.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
What do you mean appreciate? Don't appreciate. I'm talking to you about you. I'm not just saying nice. I'm talking to what I have seen and what I have witnessed. And the beauty of it is, for me, you're so humble, my gosh. And that is just key. You maintain what you have now, you will have your own school, without a doubt. You will have your own school.
Thank you.
And if we can assist in that process, in however that might look or shape, form, whatever, and that, do not think to reach out, because you just never know. Sometimes we surprise ourselves, don't we, Shell?
Yeah.
Sometimes we surprise ourselves. Eh?
Like finding out that we're starting to write the books and stuff that we did. That was just shall we ever give it a go? All right, then we'll give it a go.
Yeah.
What was that? There's a saying that shoot for the moon. So what if you don't hit it? You'll end up in the stars.
Definitely.
Just go for it. Give it a go.
Yeah, as I say, like, do you know what? If because opportunities don't always come along. When they come along, grab them to hang. And do you know what? Some things are going to work. Yay! Some things don't work. It's all good. It's either a blessing or a lesson. Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, Akeem, we're going to let you go, because otherwise you ain't going to get to bed. And the next week you're going to message me tomorrow. D, I was late for school. And I'll be like, I thought you said school was across the road. I know, I was late. The time I ate my meal, my belly was too heavy and I couldn't get up.
No,
write you a note now.
Exactly. Write me a note in my planner.
All right, we will let you go, Akeem.
Thank
you. We will catch up, darling. We will speak, definitely. All right.
Thank you
so
very
much
for the opportunity.
Say hi to your mum.
I will do.
And Dad and the family.
I might have to move to Luton soon. So yeah.
You know what? There's plenty of room at our inns. There's plenty of space.
I love that.
Your mum will change your mind.
Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you soon, guys.
We'll do, darling. Take care.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. Oh my gosh. Was that a dream?
When I saw his details, I was not. Yeah. I was not expecting.
You're right, Bob.
Yeah.
Big time. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And you know that we give him notice and he will be here. Very interested in the the reclaim that he was talking about.
Yes, I did put the reclaim.
Looking in and finding, I saw that.
It's amazing, and it goes when you look on that website, it goes through some of the history as well. So it's all started right from when the problems were in Moss Side, and it is that area of the city is very much like what you get with like the Marsh Farm, Lucy Farm kind of problems that we had in Luton. It's once you've then got that name.
Yeah.
It's like as he said, sort of that. I don't know when that was, when you dropped out. He tried getting work experience. Put down he was from that area. Didn't get back. Did it from his family's address. Yeah, got a call back straight away.
You hear people saying that, and yeah. Well, Shelley and I, We've had Bob. It's good that I wanted you to hear Akeem. Never met Akeem. Never met before. Literally spoke to him when I was trying to when I came off with you, Bob, just to make sure he was coming on. And the youngest, this is what we do at Simply Deez. We have our local folk that we know that are doing things, and we want to share what's going on in the community. Okay. And then we also have people that are doing amazing things. Assistant principal at age 28. 28. When you think 28, oh gosh, that's massive. Absolutely massive. You know, when you're sort of saying about, you know, Amy in sort of like 6 years or so and being. No. I just vision him and his own school, literally his own school, and just running it the way. So this is, say, for instance, the conventional way. Don't get me wrong, there's certain things that he'd have to have, but literally his own way. And certain things that we know, no, I'm not having that, don't want that. And the results will show.
Mm-hmm.
The results will show. So I can hear my voice. My voice was going anyway. Shell,
Doing teas.
would you?
Free time.
To be honest, as always, I forgot. And my throat's just about to seize up.
Shall I do it?
Would you please? Why are you laughing?
That I've only no. There's nothing bad. Don't panic. Don't panic.
Me? Oh, I'm not panicking. I'm just as in I can't.
So
I have to look for it.
Tishy time. So everyone, since the last show, my life has been good. My mum and I think we've found a solution to solve my problems with my care, but we have a backup plan in case. I did see this Tishy and I was really, really hungry at the time. My dad cooked a Thai red prawn curry with noodles on Saturday and it was really good. Posted a picture of it on Instagram. I saw Karen and her mum and cousin Sunday morning, and Karen did my food shopping and her cousin did my hair. And I spoke to a close friend and wished him happy birthday. Yesterday I had my first workout session of the week, and then mum passed by with dinner from my nana, and then spent the day talking to my best friend and watched a film on Netflix. I don't say which films she watched though, but I'm really looking forward to our International Women's Day event next month, and I'm bringing my cousin Tasha with me. I have added some more people to my concert bucket list. Now, this concert bucket list, we reckon, was about 20, didn't we, last time? So this is going to get really long. Till the next time, stay safe and blessed. Keep following your dreams, no matter what. So I really do dread to think how long
that list is.
Yeah.
We'll get that list out of her next time. So you just never know. We throw it out there. Somebody might know or what have you and can get her tickets or might know somebody. So we will do that. So
it all depends on who it is. We might just go down with her.
That's very true. So on that note, as they say, Shelley works really hard, guys, with all our social media bits and pieces that goes out there, our newsletter. You can see on the ticker there. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. You know, hear me say we're on Tick the Talk, Talk the Tick. We're on that now as well, so keep tuned. We've got the link tree, which is all our social media information. Why is she going to do that if you guys don't use it? And people ask me stuff, I'm thinking, you would know if you were signed up. You would know if you follow us, because I'm telling you now, we have said before, but there is going to be a membership. There's events and things coming up now. I know, but I go and tell you the Black Book case is coming.
Yep.
Ooh. So obviously there'll be exhibitor stuff going out. I'm telling you now, if you are not a member, if you are not signed up to the newsletter, those people are going to have first dibsies. That's not fair. Yes, it is. So don't say we didn't tell you. How easy is it to sign up to a newsletter? What, click and a click? But you can't be bothered. That's cool. Then those that can be bothered will get first dibs. And that is how we're going to roll now, because we give so many people so many opportunities. And you know what? I'm going to keep it real. There needs to be some reciprocation. So if we're sharing, we share so many people's information, whether it be events or whatever it might be, we share it. We've got different platforms where we share stuff. And all we're asking is there's things that we're doing. When I say we, it's not me and Shelley. There's a team of people, and some of us are in different situations. So all we do is ask for a bit of support. So if sharing is how you can support us, thank you so much. If you can actually attend an event, thank you so much. If you join our newsletter, thank you so much. That's how grateful, seriously, how grateful we are. It's not big things, because even today we had on the Simply Together show, and we've got to show a platform where we're saying to you masses out there, if you've got something that you're doing, or information that you want shared, or I don't know, so many different things, contact us. We have a community Zoom. What is it? A community Zoom. We've got somebody in Leeds. We've got somebody in Birmingham. We've got people all over. There's information that, you know what, somebody would be grateful to receive, because it could help someone. So that's what we do. So this Thursday, 7 till 9, you don't have to be there for the whole session. No way. You don't have to dress up. No way. You don't have to leave your yard. There's people, yeah. Jump on.
Eating dinner in pajamas.
Yeah. Jump on. And what goes on in that Zoom, it stays right there in that Zoom. There's many things shared in that Zoom, and it is making a difference. It is seriously making a difference. So before the voice totally goes, because I do need it, we're going to be out of here. We are back Thursday. The community Zoom 7 till 9. You just need to register in advance on Eventbrite. Please join us then. Sunday, tell them about Sunday, Shell. What's happening up? You going?
Where? What? Sunday? Oh, yeah. Yes, the kitchen might be getting full up of fudge between now and Sunday. Stockwood Park, in the museum, I should say, Stockwood Museum. We have the monthly craft fair, artisan craft and foodie fair. So that is from 10 till 4. I think it's winter. So you've then got all sorts of different foodies and crafts, and we're all in amongst where the actual museum itself is. So it's free to enter. Come up and join us. We've got the only other things that we've got in the diary officially at the moment.
She's hilarious. I heard you earlier today, even though I was offline. I was going,
officially. The ones that are in the diary: International Women's Day, the new place of being the Hat Factory. All the tickets are live on Eventbrite.
They are limited tickets. People thinking like, yeah. And even those we know, and it's like, do you know what? We ain't saving places. You do, and you need to follow instructions now. The tickets are there to purchase. They're £5 plus a booking fee. How much? People going like, is that all? Yeah, that is all.
Yes, we've got all sorts going on, plus some new bits and pieces as well.
Swishing. What's swishing? What's swishing?
Swishy, swashy, swappy. Yes, so it's decent clothes
Yes.
you can bring and then take away something new, and then also then a bit of a
Thing,
want to work out how to do like a forum-y kind of thing where some feedback about the women living in Luton. What do you want to see? Is there more you want to see of something that's good? How can we change things in Luton really going forward? The other one in the diary is the Health and Wellbeing event, Luton Irish Forum, a free event.
Free to enter.
And yeah, to enter, yeah.
So
We are in partnership with Luton Irish Forum. They're providing their building. So anything to do with your health and well-being. So it's the whole of you. It's not just physical well-being, mental well-being. It's like everything all together. And as you said earlier on, Dee, we've got the black bookcase that's going to be announced soon. There's the brand new youth forum event-y kind of thing that we're bringing, and we've got our funding for that's going to be announced soon. There's a lot, and there's some extra bits as part of events and projects that are going on as well. So this is literally just the beginning part of the year that we're talking about with our events. So
if people want to get involved, what they need to do.
So all the details are on the screen on there. So we're on Insta and Facebook are our two main ones. But we have got the Twitter feed as well. Email. So we've got, yes, it is a monthly email that goes out with all the events. When we start changing that through to membership, that email might change slightly because if you're part of our membership, you're also then part of, we help promote you with your events. So different things on the emails will then come out. But then again, everything, all the different links and stuff is on our link tree. And that gets changed all the time. So the next event and things are always on there. So it's just one click straight through.
That's it. Tisha's just messaged me, am I going to do her update? And I'm like, where were you? Shelley's done it.
Oh, sorry, Tisha. Yeah, I forgot. I did say that I was going to message her before we did the update, but we just went straight into it. Sorry. You can slap me later, Tish.
Oh, another. She loves all of that slapping. Yeah. We're out of it. So we're going to big thank you to our guest, Bob Baker, Akeem Mullen. Thank you. We will be in touch. So for now, Shell, I think that's it. From her. From me.
No, that's it.
See you later, guys. Good night.
See you next month.